Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to Law-Splaining the Interwebs. I am your host, Nick Rekieta of Rekieta Law, a small law firm in central Minnesota. Back from the dead. Back from the dead. I have risen. Or whatever. And with me today, of course, is my noble and esteemed colleague, Mr. Ty Beard.
Glad to see you're alive, sir.
I am alive. I am alive.
It was there were some doubts there.
I wasn't sure if I wanted to be alive at a certain point.
Right.
Actually, all I wanted to do was to throw up at several points during. I was just laying there in the bathroom, going, "Oh God, if I could just get it out, I'll be fine."
Well, didn't you say you didn't eat anything all day?
Yeah.
Oh boy. Yeah. So you had the quasi dry heaves.
Yeah. It was. Look, mistakes were made. Things happened. But we are here to recap the debate, give some thoughts about it. We are here to go through the super chats from the other day. That is actually the goal. I do see a super chat in here today. I am going to do something that is against every fiber of my grifting nature. And I'm going to say I tried to turn off super chats for just this video, and it won't let me. So,
how do we know you're not an imposter? Because that sure does seem like a, significant deviation.
It feels wrong, but no, I tried to turn them off. It won't let me. This is really about catching up from all the stuff that I missed from drinking liquid murder.
I would be remiss if I didn't remind you that I did attempt to dissuade you from that course of action.
I don't remember this at all. I don't believe you.
Well, yeah, go to the tape.
Human memory is perfect, and it didn't happen.
I mean, I even appealed to the stream, but you knew that wasn't going to have. I mean,
Yeah. No, it wasn't.
I knew that was a desperation move on my part. So
it's not going to work.
No.
The stream was in on it. They were in on it. This is like a Chinese hit job.
Uh-huh.
And all of the bots or whatever, all of the Russian Chinese bots were trying to get me by clicking like, were trying to get me to die.
Well, yeah, it's like when you're in college and you're about to do something stupid. Do your friends say, "No, don't do that. That's stupid. That's..." Oh God, no. They just egg you on. Yeah. So it was, kind of like that.
It's long and short is it was not good. It was not good. But I did enjoy the debate, even though it was infuriating. I think we should do some analysis on the debate itself. I am trying to pull up the chats from just that stream. I have a couple different places where they are, but I'm working on getting just those chats in. So it'll be easier.
Actually, while we were doing it, I was actually writing down pretty copious notes. I tried to take, and
it's like you knew what would happen to me.
Almost. Nick is commode hugging drunk. Yeah, I did actually. Oh, RE, pray for Nick tonight. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Okay. Let's see.
Also took notes on the debate too,
Yeah, right. Sure. Okay, do we have them here? No, I don't have them here. How obnoxious is this? I've got to go. Luckily, I have a thing that logs all of them. Every super chat in an Excel spreadsheet.
Ooh.
Believe it or not. I just need to grab.
My eldest is a big fan of using Excel just to organize all kinds of stuff. I've used Excel since version 1.0 on the Macintosh.
This is a big file.
Whoa. Yeah, I was kind of doing the Ron Swanson thing of powering through them, and then Drexel sat down, and then
Yeah, that doesn't work.
No, we sort of got off on other things, and that was that.
Wait, does it? Oh, today's October 24th. Okay. So, yes, this is my
Yes.
current spreadsheet. What date was that? 22nd is when it started, right?
Yeah. 20. It was the day before yesterday, wasn't it?
Let's
Yes.
see.
Yes, it
Yeah.
was. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm almost there. Oh, this spreadsheet is amazing. It logs the time that they were sent, so I can differentiate between the ones from the previous show and the
And it
ones
gives you
from
the
this show.
actual the chat itself.
Yeah.
Cool.
Let's see. I think. Yep. Here we go. This is a mess.
Now I didn't I crashed last night hard, so I didn't get to watch Keon and Drexel and y'all.
Oh,
But I watched some of it this morning. Yeah, of course it was. It was a great show.
that was a little bit wild. A little
I
bit
enjoyed
wild.
Drexel's side of sitting down at your chair and going, "What the hell is all this stuff?"
Yeah, he was thrown to the wolves, to the proverbial and literal wolves. He's never seen how to like operate the stream in that way. It was very,
Yeah.
very unfair to him, which is great.
Well, what I was what I was doing was the stream window I had for YouTube. Would have the super chats. I just click on them and just as they came up. But there was no way to sort them or anything like that. It was just whatever I could see.
And yeah, you couldn't go back. He was able to go back, I believe.
Well, actually, I could. That's the weird thing. You could scroll up the window. You could scroll the window up and just kind of click and do them. But
yeah, but you can only go back like it's like 400 or 500 chats that your window saves at a time, and getting back before that's near impossible.
Well, especially when you disappeared and said, "I've got to go die now."
Was that my last words?
Something like that. I don't precisely recall, but it was something. It was pretty clear that you probably weren't going to get back. And of course, I was sitting there going, "How do I shut this down?" I mean,
Look,
I can close my browser windows, but
I was naively hopeful that I could make it back after just a little bit. So I was explaining this. There's when you start out the night, you go, okay, I know if I drink 3 or 4 drinks, that is the maximum that I can handle without things getting ridiculous. Yeah. And then when you're 3 in or 4 in, I don't even remember, and you go, if I get to 2,000 likes, I'll take it
one more,
one shot, and it was big, and then at that point when you're like, well, I could do another one because now I am the liquor. And I'm invincible. I was immune. Of course,
reasoning perfectly after that many drinks, too.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I thought it through very thoroughly, and I came to the conclusion that I was immune to further intoxication.
I've been there. I think we all have. There was an episode of Columbo. I'm a big Columbo fan. And there was an episode of Columbo where it was a plot element, actually. So the villain was this Irish terrorist. Yeah. And he had a diamond ring of some sort. And every time he'd sit down with a bottle of whiskey, he would scratch a line in the bottle and say, "This far and no farther." Right. And that was his. Yeah. And that was his deal. He wouldn't drink past that point. Of course, he very foolishly did that at the meeting where he caps this gun runner who had tried to betray him. And so that became the plot element. But I always thought that's actually a pretty good way to do it.
Yeah.
Just like this.
Just grab a Sharpie and line it off.
Yeah, but of course, that relies upon you being true to yourself after you've had a lot of drinks. I find that hard liquor sneaks up on me too.
Well, I'm fine, and then oh my God, I am naked.
Yeah. That doesn't. That's why I'm drinking beer on your show a lot more these days because, I'll be thinking, and so there you go.
Right before we dive into this, which we're going to do in just a second, there was someone sent me a trophy and they're asking me to show it to you.
Okay.
Are you familiar with the Noblars unit from the Ogre Kingdoms in Warhammer Fantasy?
No. No, I'm way behind the curve on Warhammer Fantasy.
This would be older.
But I probably have seen it then, and I don't recognize it just off the top. But I can always appreciate really good. Oh, that's cool.
This is the Noblar's Trophy of Shame. Right here. I'll slide it over so the stream can see it too. Again, but yes.
Pull it back just a little bit so that your camera can get a good focus on it.
Here you go.
So what are the individual components?
Bunch of little goblin-looking guys.
Okay, that's what I thought they were, like snotlings and stuff.
Yeah, they look like yeah, and there's some wolves down at the bottom because you probably have some goblin wolf riders. Yeah. I imagine in there and stuff. But it's a cool unit, but it was what they gave to the worst player or whatever.
Well, there you go. You know, classic Warhammer 40K had some just great miniatures.
Yeah,
way back when there was the Goblin Doom Diver catapult, and it was a giant slingshot, and you had one goblin sitting there with wings like that Roadrunner episode where the coyote goes off the. Well, he's got wings, but he's also got a long pointy spike on top of his head, so that when he hits,
yeah, they
and they got a crew of snotlings that are pulling the rubber band back.
They have that unit in the computer game, the Total War Warhammer 2. You have the Doom Diver catapults are there, and they're devastating to single target entities.
Yeah, I've got several painted up in my collection somewhere. But there was also a long time ago a halfling unit that was several Hobbit cooks. And they had a big crock pot of boiling something or another, and they'd sling it back and throw it, and it was what they call that? Crock pot of doom. I don't know. Anyway, but there was always a whimsical element to classic Warhammer Fantasy that I always liked.
It was great.
Did not like that last revision at all. What they call it? Crap. What?
Age of Sigmar.
Oh yeah, the game itself was crap, and it was especially crap when it first came out.
I think they've been revising it, and I think people like it a little more now.
Yeah, but I don't like the miniatures. I mean, I like classic fantasy looking stuff, and that Sigmar stuff. It was like they were trying to just make fantasy 40K.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, pretty much. Okay, so all right.
Thud gun. That's that. Do they don't have thud guns anymore in 40K? Do they?
I have no idea.
Somebody mentioned the thud gun, so that's an old World War I looking, field artillery piece.
Sure,
it's really good looking stuff. Now I'm just wearing cheap reading glasses because, of course, I'm getting old and decrepit and can't even read my own writing anymore. The stream asks a question. So
okay, so let's start off by talking about the debate itself.
Yeah. Okay.
And what your thoughts on it were. Let's try and do the basic who won the debate. What did each candidate do well? What did each candidate do poorly?
Sure. Well, I mean, and of course, I'm trying hard not to be influenced by what I've seen or read after we watched the debate. I actually haven't read or seen that much because I've been busy and stuff. But so nothing. Certainly my opinion hadn't changed. I don't think there's any doubt that Trump mopped the floor with Creepy Joe this time around.
I agree.
I mean, it wasn't as bad as it could have been. If you got somebody like Biden out there, the possibilities of how bad he could do are pretty much endless. But Trump showed that this is something that if I were a Democratic strategist, I would have tried to bear in mind. And I don't think they're doing this. There's a huge difference between the caricature of Trump that the left has manufactured and the actual Donald Trump, because he brought a whole different look to this contest. Right. Last time he was brash, he was arrogant, he was interrupting, and he was combative. This time he was relentlessly calm, just bam, bam, bam. It's hard to explain, but I'm just it was almost systematic in the way he went at Biden. I don't recall him interrupting Biden a single time.
Right. So that's what I noticed in the first debate. I do want to point out that in the first debate, Biden interrupted Trump first. I think a lot of people that got overshadowed by just how much Trump would interrupt Biden as they went into it. But throughout the debate, Biden did the first interruption in the first debate. In the second debate, and I think this was intentional. If it wasn't intentional, they're extremely fortunate to have stumbled into this strategy. But I think I'm guessing it was intentional that they wanted to poke at Joe a lot in the first debate, not necessarily on the issues as much, just the physicality of poking at him and throwing him off. Then this debate, Trump was obscenely courteous to a frustrating extent. He was waiting.
Agreed.
And he would actually ask the moderator, can I please respond? He did talk over the moderator a couple times, but that's because that is the worst. I think that was the worst party in this debate entirely.
Oh yeah, I had the old classics, Southern bless her heart reaction to her. She's clearly a lefty. There's no question. She desperately wanted to help Biden, but Trump just controlled her. And that brings up an interesting little thought I had is that the Democrats outsmarted themselves, I think, in this debate in a couple of ways. Number one, you remember the big criticism of Trump in the first debate was he should have let Biden talk because Biden would start rambling. And my response to that was no, the moderator would jump in and save Biden. Right? Well, this format made it a lot harder for her to do that. She did try several times, but of course, Joe just kept going. Joe was his own worst enemy in this debate. He opened the door on some things that Trump would really have looked kind of classless if he had gone into, like Hunter Biden. But Joe starts out accusing Trump of corruption and taking payoffs, and I'm going, oh my God. Well, I think when we were sitting there, we was like, holy crap.
Yeah, why'd you open the door to this with the news cycle where it is? Like, this is coming up.
Yeah.
I think a couple things are going on there. One, I don't know if you've seen this, but the Hunter Biden stories, like there's a Gateway Pundit story about Hunter Biden right now.
It's worse.
If you link that story on Twitter, your account is immediately suspended.
Yes. Yeah. That's been going on. That happened when the story first came out.
Yeah.
I mean, Twitter, the social. Guess what, guys? 230 is gone if Trump wins.
It's and the
thank you, you dipshits, for doing that.
And
because
I
mean, they just went all in on it.
I don't want 230 gone. I want it wrangled a little bit, and I think they're going to do it poorly. But the
government do something badly, Nick.
Well, the problem is though, there's no one to blame but Twitter. They can't blame 4chan on this. They can't blame.
No, well, Facebook did it too.
Yeah,
now
right.
Facebook pulled their head out of their ass a lot faster than Twitter did.
Yeah,
but and here's the thing: the polls are beginning to converge, as we always knew they would. I mean. Oh, and by the way, on October 23rd of 2016, ABC released a poll that had Madam Pantsuit 12 points ahead of Trump.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, that'll be, we ought to have a few minutes on that after we talk about the debate, because the Democrats, I think, have made some very serious miscalculations. In the debate itself, Biden started out strong. He started out relatively coherent. The format
that lasted literally one question.
Well, sure.
One question.
Actually, on everything, he seemed to have a memorized kind of spiel.
Right.
But what Trump was extraordinarily successful in was turning it into a back and forth, and Biden just simply couldn't keep up.
Yeah.
So they released the topics of this debate before the debate. I mean, the candidates knew. And I didn't think they did that on any other debates.
Yeah, I don't think I thought the whole thing with the debates was the candidates weren't supposed to have the questions.
Yeah. Yeah. This time around, though, the candidates had the questions. And there's two possibilities. One is no, there's not. There's really only one possibility. I think probably my guess is that might have been the cost of Trump agreeing to do the debate. And if it was, if the president negotiated that, then brilliant. Okay. Because by putting the stuff out there, it's very clear to me that Trump's team actually did their job and had him prepared for what Biden was probably going to say and what the moderator was going to say. Because all throughout the whole debate, Trump was basically, you know, he was inside Biden's decision cycle, which is no big deal because Biden's an idiot. But he was almost in front of Biden. It's almost like he knew what Biden was going to say before Biden would say it.
Yeah.
You saw him several times. Just he has a peculiar look on his face. It's not a smirk so much as it is just kind of a, when he's getting ready to level somebody.
Mm-hmm.
So Trump came in very well prepared. He had some wonderful zingers. What did Biden do well? Golly, as I said on my Facebook post about this, he didn't soil himself, he didn't drool, and he didn't pass out. So, he exceeded those expectations, I guess. But honestly, like you say, it took maybe 15 or 20 minutes into the debate before he started blathering. And there was one point, and I think you might have been too drunk to notice because it was later in the debate. But there was one point where they showed him they were showing him sitting there side by side, and Biden had that mouth hanging open, eyes looking up, thing like that we've seen on the memes. And he was literally not moving for a good 10 or 15 seconds. And I was going, holy crap, he might just pass out right there. But then he snapped out of it. But I don't know. I want to criticize Biden for lying through his teeth about all the stuff that Trump called him on. But at the same time, I don't know how you explain those things. When, Biden had to sell his soul to the far left loons of his party. He had to come out and basically say, I'm going to get rid of fracking. I'm going to get rid of oil. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do the other thing. But
yeah, that's how he beat Bernie.
That's how he beat Bernie. Sure. But I just got to think there had to have been some better way to deal with that than just bald ass lying. I was talking to my wife earlier today about that. And I said, back in the old days when most of what you said was reported in the newspapers or in magazines or whatever, you could always say, I was misquoted. I was taken out of context. The reporter didn't hear what I said. There are any number of ways to weasel out of what you say. Biden lied his ass off about stuff that they've got him on video doing. And during the debate, I found this out afterwards, during the debate, the Trump team was aggressively nailing his ass to the wall by tweeting out videos showing him saying exactly what he claimed he didn't say.
Yep.
And of course he did that in the first debate. And I think when we talked about it that first time, I said, I think Trump's going to stomp him. Right. See, the first debate gave Trump a roadmap for what Biden was likely to do. And unlike Trump, the Democrats walked in with the same exact game plan they had the first time.
Yep, and it was not. You can't just say, "Come on, man," a whole bunch of times and
10 times. I have a tally on my little legal pad. I was keeping a tally. I counted 10.
I disagree. I tweeted out at some point that it was 287 times.
it seemed
that's what it feels like when you think about it. The debate is what? 6 questions. It's like 6 questions to each candidate, and then there's back and forth and all that stuff, but 6 main topics. So if in each main topic you're averaging over 1, come on, man. Like that it seems like an infinite amount of them. And that's why
it was over. And there was a lot of that repetition too. That was the other thing. Even where Biden was coherent and reasonably focused, he just kept repeating himself. And I'm sorry, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think this yammering about 200,000 dead Americans is as effective as they think it is.
No,
because everybody knows this was a Chinese pandemic, and Trump don't you think Trump did a better job this time dealing with that? Infinitely better.
I think he
than
did
the first time.
I think he did better this time dealing with it. I saw a news story still like when almost 250,000 Americans have died, blah, blah, blah. You need to hold, or no, it was an ad, I think, a political ad. We need to hold the person in charge accountable. And it's like, okay, I don't think anyone buys that you were going to, that Trump could have appreciatively reduced the amount of deaths beyond where it is.
No,
Because I don't even believe, I genuinely don't believe the 2 million prediction that they had either. I never bought it. The prediction of like 200,000 or the 200,000 number seems to be right about where they said, well, if we take these measures, it'll be here.
Yeah.
And my thought was, okay, well, if you'll never have history to check against you, you might as well say that it would have been 10 times as many. That's a really easy
but
question.
they did. I mean, I remember in the early days the estimates were wild and crazy.
No, I know, but I just never I never bought that 2 million people were going to die in the U.S. from the virus.
No, I didn't either. I felt like, but to be fair, no one, and Trump was pretty articulate about this too. I love the way he absolutely, just buried Fauci and did it in such a nice, classy way. He said, because the moderator tried to drill him on Fauci. He goes, first Fauci says, don't wear a mask. Then he says, wear a mask. First he said this, then he said this. So, he's going back and forth. Now, and he stops and he goes, of course, we didn't really know what we were dealing with, so that's okay. I think he's a Democrat, but that's okay.
Yeah, that was beautiful.
It was just, he was drilling him, the challenger's always got a problem in these debates because the challenger has to basically say he ain't doing it right. So the challenger is always going to be more negative than the incumbent you'd normally expect. That said, Biden just grossly overplayed this. The negativity, I thought.
There was that, and there was also one of Biden's worst lines that I remember. And he was coherent during this. This is the scary part. This is early. He said that we were going to have double the amount of dead by the end of the year.
In 2 months.
It's like, wait a minute. On what planet does the virus kill when deaths are decreasing? Does it kill double what we've got that took 7 months to get here?
Yeah, I mean, Nick, he's talking about 200,000 deaths in 9 weeks. Yeah, basically.
So that's what? How many days?
Yeah, and Trump's look, the look on Trump's face when he said that was priceless. That was, I don't know if that was if they're actually trying to flog that somewhere, or if that was just Biden blowing it. I thought,
that's 3,175 deaths a day.
Yeah, it's insane. I mean, that's beyond stupid. Not even the Governor Fredo the Elder in New York could kill that many people. Oh, right. I thought Trump did a good job. Although I would have liked to have seen more, but he did a nice job of nailing some of these blue state governors. He drilled, and again, Biden. I can't, I lost track of the number of times Biden would loft some softball up and Trump would just tee up and, but I remember, Biden was talking about how bad a job the red states were doing now. And states like New York were doing such a good job. And Trump's like, okay. And he said, New York has 40,000 dead and 10,000 dead because the governor ordered infected people back into the nursing homes.
Yeah.
Which he did. Then he referred to Governor Nurse Ratchet in Michigan, and he said to Biden, "Your friend in Michigan, whose husband is the only one allowed to be outside and do anything." That was just
he pegged Whitmer's husband harder than Whitmer does, and that was beautiful.
Yeah. Now that's nice. I'll go give you a golf clap on that one.
Another great exchange. It wasn't one line. It was an exchange. We went and looked into that, and those cages were built in 2014. Who was president? Who was president then, Joe? I didn't build those cages.
That was an absolute. Biden stepped on his own dick so many times during that particular exchange that he just stopped wincing when it happened.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
That
was the thing, right? Trump was successful all night long in taking topics that everyone assumed, including us, were going to be pro-Democrat, that were obviously selected to benefit Biden. But because Trump knew what the topics were, his team was able to prepare him, and he crammed, I think, just about every one of those topics up Biden's ass.
Yeah, he did very, very well. There was one line where
Who built the cages, Joe? Who built the cages? Oh, and did you see him nail the moderator multiple times? Why don't you ask him?
Yeah.
Who built the cages or whatever? And of course, she just Karened away, and he did a much more effective job of controlling her.
She was the worst character on the show.
Of course,
I do not recall how many times she actually interrupted Trump, but she.
Oh! You know what? I read a USA Today article on that, and it was she was forced to interrupt Trump 48 times or however many times, versus only being forced to interrupt Biden 8.
I didn't see her interrupt Biden a single time.
I don't recall her doing it either, but note the way USA Today tried to.
Yeah. Now I jokingly and drunkenly tweeted out, Trump interrupts Biden 0 times. Biden interrupts Trump 2 times at present, right? And moderator interrupts Trump 50 times. And I had to tweet out in the next 2 minutes 51 times and then 52 times, because in the next 2 minutes from sending that tweet live, she interrupted him twice more. And I was like, what is this? This is not your job to sit and challenge the person as the moderator.
Nick, that is the moderator's job.
No, it's Joe's job, and
No, it's the moderator's job to nail the Republican.
I know.
Don't you understand how this works?
Well, look, if you're gonna send a moderator to nail a Republican, at least they sent a pretty one.
I guess.
But no, it's that was really frustrating to me, because it's like, look, I don't.
Oh, it pissed my wife off something fierce. she was furious.
I don't want you arguing with the candidates. You're the moderator.
No.
You're there to read questions and then, I guess, manage the muting function, even though that was done by a team behind the scenes and not her physically. And then you're there to facilitate the discussion.
I can't remember exactly what happened. I do remember a couple times, though, her actively arguing with Trump, and she never did anything like that with Biden.
Right.
But the thing is, though, Trump was so calm about it and prepared that it certainly didn't throw Trump off his game. And like I said, that was the thing, right? The whole format of, we're going to let them speak, damn it. Well, okay. But that also kept the moderator from bailing Joe out when Joe just started getting crazy.
You could see that she couldn't do that. But I think her compensation was to actually actively argue with Trump. And I was like, I don't want your opinions. You're not even a person. You're a newscaster. I don't want to hear you.
Well, you're dumb as a stump because you're a journalist.
It's like, put one of the funny old men to talk and have the other funny old man respond. That's all I want you to do.
But the problem was the orange funny old man was just kicking the shit out of the creepy homeless.
I loved his stupid point that Trump does. He's like, okay, we're doing this. You saw it. And he would do that.
Oh, Trump is a master of using his hands while he's talking.
It's great.
For 20 some odd years, I was in Toastmasters, and the whole thing about using hands is a big part of public speaking. Doing it effectively. And Trump's a natural communicator. I think he's actually a lot more polished than people give him credit for, but he's just got raw talent in that area. And and he also, I noticed this, one thing she did try to do, and she did try to do this a lot and failed miserably. She kept trying to let Biden have the last word, and Trump very nicely but very firmly refused to let that happen. There was one, let me see if I can find it. There was one point that I wrote down. Trump was Biden was getting the worst. It wasn't during the coronavirus part. It was later on during the China part. And Trump went back to, he thought I shouldn't close the border. He says that. And they yang it back. And Trump says it again. And she turns to Biden and says, do you want to respond to that quickly? And Biden said no.
Yeah.
That was it's like, okay.
Very pathetic.
And I don't know I don't remember if we noticed this, but there was a point apparently in there where they caught Biden on film, looking at his watch. And that's, that's waving the white flag saying, please don't beat me no more.
I didn't see this, but someone in chat said that Biden had an aide go up and grab his iPad from the podium after they were done. But I didn't,
really?
I didn't see that. I don't know if that's true. That could be a true.
Maybe he was looking at porn.
Come on, man. Maybe he was looking at Hunter. Maybe he was looking at Hunter's sex tape.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, in charge, but more quote presidential was one of the comments that I made. He was in control of the facts. I mean, Trump had the facts. Biden, at the end of the day, Biden came out, unfortunately for him, looking exactly like he is. Thin-skinned, arrogant, dishonest, and mentally incompetent and old.
Right.
Trump looked like the boss.
He did.
And he looked like the boss last time, but this time he looked like the professional, methodical boss rather than the fire-breathing boss. And the thing is, it was funny because you can always tell how good the Republicans do based on how much the press assures us they don't matter.
Right.
After the fact. I saw one thing, one post from one news organization that said that, in their poll, that only 6% said that the debates would change their vote. And I'm going, 6%? If 4 of that 6 goes to Trump, this debate was an abject disaster, an apocalypse for the left.
Yeah.
So yeah, but yeah, Trump just, I mean, he, and if I were the Democratic strategist, I would have been saying all along, we better be prepared for a completely different Donald Trump than we saw in round 1.
Yep.
But because that's how
they couldn't do it.
Well, they're so invested in this idea of Trump as this lunatic that doesn't know how to do anything. I mean, it's a complete fantasy version of Trump, but they're so invested in it they can't allow themselves to even imagine. And the funny thing about all this too is another way they outsmarted themselves. The classic pattern is the incumbent president does poorly in the first debate. The president mops the floor in the second debate, and in the third debate, the media crowns the Democrat the winner. That pattern has existed for at least 20 years, and it goes all the way back to Reagan Mondale at least. Well, guess what? We followed the same pattern this time, but there ain't going to be no third debate. There ain't going to be no opportunity for the press to crown Biden as the winner. So it just Trump did what any good general would do. He decided he declined to fight the last war, and Biden did what the French did at the beginning of World War II. He was geared up to fight a complete rerun of the last war, and they I think at the end of the day they badly underestimated Trump. And again, I felt like that Biden's preparation was poor, but what are you going to do? Yeah. Oh God, the fossil fuels debacle. Trump just hung that around his neck. And the thing is, Biden wouldn't let it go. That was the other thing too. Biden got pissy when he got challenged on things that he should have expected to get challenged on.
Right.
And all that did was give Trump a lot more opportunity to just carpet bomb him.
Biden's response to Biden's response to the Hunter stuff has been terrible no matter where it's coming from. He got confronted in that one town hall by the journalist on it, and even there, it was just
he's in a sort of delusional state of denial about this. Well, here's the thing: you don't attack Trump for taking money from a foreign government when you got that laptop situation out there. Someone should have walked up to his legal pad and just torn that whole sheet out and thrown it away and said, we're not going to go there. Because the problem was Trump would have been bitterly criticized by a lot of people, even nominal pearl clutching Republicans, if he had just come out swinging on Hunter Biden. Well, it's just déclassé to attack, the president for his family, Biden just opened the doors, opened the whole barn on that.
I think this issue is, it's at least, here's how we get there. It's at least as important as any emoluments BS. It's at least as important as the Russia stuff against Trump. And
they demanded criminal investigations on Donald Trump Jr.
Yeah.
When there was no evidence whatsoever, just a loose allegation of some kind of misbehavior with Russia.
But by the
now
rules,
it doesn't matter.
By the rules that they set up about Trump in 2016 and in 2020, this should be the most important story about the Biden campaign, where, let's be real, if Biden wins and things are equal, there should be 3 years of investigation into Hunter Biden and the Biden connection. If he were to win, that should plague his presidency for the next 3 years.
It should, but that would require the Republicans to not be pussies.
Even if it's fake, right?
Right.
That's the crazy thing.
Of course.
Even if it's fake. But the amount of defensive screening they've done, from going after, shutting down Twitter, shutting down Facebook, expansion of it.
I think that has backfired horribly on them.
Going after Giuliani, trying to discredit Giuliani again, as if anybody.
With Borat? What is up with that, by the way?
Well,
got a Borat thing.
Borat has a new movie, which is just, I never really cared for the first one, so
no.
But in it, apparently they have a young-looking female in the room with Rudy Giuliani, and his hand is in his pants, and he says that they've taken the clip way out of context or something. Who knows? I don't know. I don't really.
But who
care.
Cares?
Look,
if at Rudy's age, you go, man.
Well, she's, when I say young, 15 or something.
Oh, that could be awkward.
But
again, if the Democrats want to start talking about that, I guess so. But I think,
Yeah. Do we forget the Joe sniffing that's been going on? But no, the girl was not 15. I know, chat. I know. The headline is "Girl Who Looked 15." Okay.
Oh, girl who looked 15.
But she's in her mid-20s. So, but that's, guys. You don't have to tell me. I know. Jesus.
You're gonna turn him into Biden. Stream. You're gonna turn Nick into Biden. It's I didn't say she was 15.
Yeah. But anyway.
Well, and an illustration of the Streisand effect.
You got, son of a bitch. They're sitting here. Nick, she's 25.
24.
Come on, man. What are you? Some kind of junkies? Man. Some kind of age junkies? Come on. What are we talking about?
Stream, cut the brother a break now. Y'all are responsible for a bit of a bad night a couple nights ago.
Oh, God, my back. Actually, my entire, this area, my neck, craps, this hurts still. That's all very sore from the heaving. Okay.
And what the hell is a dark winter, by the way?
I don't know.
Wasn't that just what the...
Someone looked it up. There actually was an Operation Dark Winter. It was
that seems racist in a way, doesn't it?
It was like a secret CIA plot or something way back when.
Yeah. Some other note. I'm kind of flipping here.
Yeah, that chick's actually a 9,000-year-old vampire dragon. She just looks 15/24. Thanks, guys.
Okay.
Thank
So
you.
she's an anime character then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, a word about the race segment of it. Now that was intended, obviously, to be Biden's triumph.
Yeah, but
Trump just scrubbed him off the floor, didn't he? I mean, I got some advice to the Democrats, and this is genuine advice. This is not, this is not concern trolling. This is really genuine advice. You jokers need to get off of the indignant, sneering crap when the fact that you haven't actually done anything for African Americans is brought up.
well,
Because I think that's starting to wear thin with enough African Americans to matter, and it doesn't take a lot of them.
well, the other problem is that if you have a candidate whose legislative history goes back to 1960, he's gonna have made some bad. Like, it doesn't matter who you are. Just speaking in the parlance of 1962, it's gonna sound bad today.
Well, and Biden especially. I mean, hell, I created a meme of him that had, where it was a picture of him and Joe Manchin with the former Grand Cyclops of the Klan, Robert Byrd, holding his hand in a parade and wait. Go ahead and lecture some more on race. But Biden, the 1994 crime bill. Here's the reality of that bill. That bill did actually have a materially significant effect on lowering the crime rate in this country. Now, we had already kind of peaked and we're heading down anyway as the baby boomers were rolling into middle age, right? I mean, if you have a large number of young males, you're going to have a higher crime rate. That's just, basics. But it had a tremendous effect. Of course, it also had a disproportionate effect upon the black community because it criminalized a lot of drug type behavior. It criminalized a lot of nonviolent crime. I don't say criminalized, but it resulted in imprisonment for a lot of nonviolent crime and that sort of thing. Yep. And, myself, I was perfectly supportive of that in 1994. Because the crime rate, I mean, we had remember when well, I don't know if you guys remember, but carjacking was a thing. I mean, it was the crime rate had become, we as a country had gotten tired of that crap. And of course, Biden grandstanded on that just like he did. That's fine, but once again, playing by the rules that the Democrats have asserted.
I remember when we lived in Houston, both of my parents' cars were stolen within it was within like a 6 to 8 month period, and they were stolen out of our driveway.
Yeah, I had two cars. I drove sports cars when I was younger.
Yeah,
I had an IROC Z28 that got stolen, and then I had a Mustang GT. I bought the GT after the IROC because at the time I bought it, the GT was one of the least stolen performance cars out there. I buy the damn thing, and within 6 months, Vanilla Ice becomes a thing. And what does he do? Yeah, he's driving a Mustang GT in his first music video, and all of a sudden the GT becomes the most stolen sports car in America, and so mine got stolen.
Yeah, my mom's was a Pontiac Firebird, I think an 87 Pontiac Firebird with the V8 and T-tops. That thing got jacked. And then my dad's is just a Jeep Cherokee, and that got jacked.
It just, but I mean, but the thing about it is, again, the Democrats, this whole, they've gotten spoiled by Republicans refusing to engage them, but they should have known. At the end of the day, either Biden is completely senile and a buffoon and an idiot, or he's got buffoons and idiots advising him. And of course, I should probably embrace the power of in that case, because anyone with half a brain should have known Trump was going to come right at him on race. He did it 4 years ago. And Democrats, especially if a significantly greater percentage of blacks vote Republican this time, and I'm talking, and again, it doesn't. Here's the thing: the Democrats need that 95% of the African American vote. Yeah. Are they in deep trouble if that drops to 90% or 85%? They got some serious problems. And so you jokers had better come up with something better than just getting all indignant when someone correctly points out that despite all of your hand wringing and all of your accusations of racism and all this, you really haven't done shit for the African American community. Not a damn thing.
Yeah.
And Trump just hammered Biden into the pavement on that. Even got the moderator all pissy about it. But Trump's. I mean, but again, Trump was so solid. The lowest unemployment rate among blacks ever. Greatest number of African Americans let out of jail.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you got Biden saying he's a racist, and Trump going, here are the concrete things I did. And and look, I'll be very shocked if the Republicans manage to get 10% of the African American vote this time around, because I think that's going to take a generational thing to change. But then again, I would never have thought that he would have flipped the white blue collar vote as thoroughly as he did.
Yeah.
All these racist Trump voters voted for Obama in 2012 and 2008. All those racist Trump voters were Obama fans in 2008 and 2012. So if I were the Democrats, I'd be trying to come up with a better response than rolling your eyes. Oh yeah, and that's another thing. Was he taking lessons from Kamala Harris?
Yes.
On the whole sneering and laughing every time Trump lands a legitimate point.
They're probably just trying to say, try to be human, Joe. Like, try to be likable. I think that's.
I like eggs.
If you just they're like, oh, laugh a little bit, it'll make you seem approachable and likable. But,
you identified some mistakes you thought Trump made. I wasn't really as much on that, but the problem was Biden was so out of it that he couldn't take advantage of any of them. What were some of those things? I can't remember. But you.
Oh, you did. Yeah, I have a very clear memory of everything.
Yeah.
No,
I think it was before you.
There was. I remember
went down to the pits of hell.
There was a specific line that Trump left open for Joe to just have a nice, solid hammer blow zinger, and then Joe just biffed it. I mentioned it on the stream. I can't remember.
You did, and I can't. And whatever it was, I couldn't see it. Peter Pete says I'm incorrect. I hope so. I really do. I hope so, because I may have already said this night before this. I actually posted my one appeal to the African American community as a Republican, and it's this. No, the Republicans have not always been sensitive to black concerns, and their policies haven't always aligned well with the concerns.
It was
but
hiding.
The one thing, yeah. Go ahead. Well, but here's the thing: we may have neglected you, but we never lied to you and made you promises that we had no intention of keeping, and we never took you for granted. And there is a big difference between being tripped over and kicked. So you might want to give us a chance, because we don't. The Democrats have systematically lied to the African American community for 50 years. They haven't done shit for them. And they've gotten away for 50 years with that, because every time someone even starts to even vaguely say that, they scream racist and point at the Republicans. And the Republicans stand there like idiots and just kind of go, we're not racist. The Democrats it's like the Democrats didn't know Trump was going to counterattack.
Yeah.
I mean,
well,
how do you not know that?
History's cannot guarantee future performance, but it's often an indicator.
Yeah.
And Republicans have not counterattacked on race in at least a decade.
Well, Donald Trump certainly has. And the thing is, the problem the Democratic Party has got right now is it's being run by a bunch of bossy white liberal women.
Right,
and
like Joe Biden.
Like Joe Biden and Chuck Schumer. But really, these are neurotic, affluent, spoiled, entitled white liberals. And I just got to imagine that non-white liberals find them just as irritating as I do.
Well, I think so. Obama had 8 years of race advantage, right? He's gonna roll with advantage on any race question.
Yep.
because they
I
can
liked
say,
all the racial healing during the Obama years, didn't
well,
you?
at debates though, if they ask a question about the black community and you've got Obama talking and then you have old white guy talking,
Yeah, there's an immediate credibility
right.
issue there.
Even though it's ridiculous to think that Obama is somehow in tune with any like black community.
Yeah, I don't think Obama spent much time in the hood. If you
Right.
know what I mean. I probably spent more time in the hood than he did. But
when he did, it was in Jakarta or whatever. But it's like, so, but it doesn't matter because it's the appearance. It's like, okay, well, black guy talking about race, white guy next to him talking about race, they're not going to do it. And I think the media has just settled in and forgotten that part of the reason that was effective for Obama is because he was black and Joe isn't.
No.
And so now you just have two old white guys and you're on presumptively equal footing from a pure optical perspective. And so I think Trump probably he certainly employs more black people than Joe Biden does.
This whole Trump is a racist thing is pure bullshit. It's pure bullshit. There's not even a slightest. Herschel Walker is one of Trump's very good friends. Okay, if you're a racist, you're not going to have black folks in your house and your kids playing with their kids. That's just not, that's not how racism works.
Yeah.
But it's such an article of faith among white liberals. I really do wonder, if African Americans are buying into this Trump as a racist bullshit. Because if he is, he's the worst racist ever.
Yeah.
Because what anti-black racist would implement policies that would release a significant, that would lower the incarceration rate of African Americans to near historic lows, that would lower the unemployment rate to historic lows.
Well, he's only lowering the incarceration rate because he's executing them in the cells, Ty.
Oh, is that what it is? Yeah, okay.
You know it.
I knew there had to be an angle there.
Yeah.
But yeah,
okay, well, let's start doing these chats.
Yeah.
So we'll do them. I think that's a pretty good summary of our stances.
Yeah, real quick. Let me get to my bottom line. Trump positive in charge, Biden negative, thin-skinned, and old.
Yeah, no, that sums it up. He looked bad.
That was the whole thing, and all the little tactical things. Biden showed up ready to fight the last debate, and he got rolled just about as bad as the French did in 1940. I mean,
not a strong showing.
Well, the French get a bad rap, right? Because everybody thinks because they lost that they were cowardly. They weren't cowardly at all. They were just woefully and completely unprepared to fight a modern war.
Yeah,
and they got completely rolled because of it. Biden was the same way, and because they were so clever in getting that second debate canceled, there won't be an opportunity for the media to bail Biden out. He's kind of stuck with it now.
Nope. They're like, oh, good. We're gonna get a real friendly moderator in there. We'll roll him, and it'll be great. Well,
Trump is not somebody you should ever underestimate.
Okay, so here we go. Here are the chats. These are from debate night. I only did a couple of them, and we're gonna skip those, but we're gonna go through the rest.
If you call up one that I addressed, you want me to just tell you? We'll move on.
Well, yeah, we can just move quickly, but I want to read them because that's the policy.
That's right. They're paying for you. They want to hear your melodic voice.
That I suppose. Everybody poops. Thank you for the donation. That's a strong start to the thing. So classical positioning says, in Maxwell's deposition that was released, she repeatedly says, I don't recall. How can lawyers in the future take down this kind of reply? She's running down the clock, and we know it's total BS. You can't force someone to remember something.
But what you can do though, is when they get on the stand and they testify something, and you go, wait a minute, in your deposition you said you couldn't remember. Mm-hmm. Why can you remember now?
Right.
So yeah, and of course I don't remember is one of those things. Put them up on the stand and just let them keep saying I don't remember. I don't remember. A really good
And
trial
then,
lawyer told me one time about a technique he's got where he said, it's Craig in our office. He's a board certified trial lawyer, former president of the Texas Trial Lawyers Association, that kind of stuff.
mhm.
And he says that sometimes he'll sit there and he'll actually talk softer. Oh, really? Well, what about this? And I don't remember. Oh, I see. You don't remember at all. he says
Mhm.
he says the effect of that is to pull the jury. He says you can actually see the jury leaning over to listen.
Sure.
And every time you say I don't remember, you lose just a little bit of credibility. Depositions are not designed to win the case. Depositions are designed to pin down testimony.
Yep. And so the other thing you
Yeah.
can do is if you know you've got them dead to rights with some hard evidence, you can use it to refresh their recollection and make them admit to something. But I don't recall is
it's a legitimate answer because sometimes you don't remember.
Right. But if you don't recall everything, but you recall some very specific things that are really important for you, that also looks bad.
It does. It does.
Okay, so Kolfi 2A wannabe Hunan Muhammad says this is 10% of what you would have got if on time. Jorgemund 07 says late.
Oh, now that should at least be prorated somehow. I mean,
late as Biden, muted as Trump, and gay as Vic's pants. So thank you. Mario
stream, man.
Mario Carter 13 says, will Trump bring Joe and Kamala's sex tape? Gross.
And I could have gone my whole life without that mental image.
Yeah. Just another person says Nick is so late and gay that he's now a registered member of the DNC. That guy in the purple says, Nick, please do not be tubing when the stream goes live. My eyes, no. Alex 1607 says it's time for Ramble 3 in search of a prequel. Or no, that was DCV Titan. Alex 1607 says so you talk about how C-SPAN are boomers, but let's remember who was a robot 2 days back. Rude. That was not my fault. We read the one about you wearing eyeliner.
Yes, I'm not. Well, I'm in my study, and we're still trying to get the lighting worked out so that it works well for war games and for these video things. And
sure,
so
yeah, nice eyeliner.
Thank you.
The Texan 83 says, "Hey Nick, you want some fun? Have a look at Joe Biden MGS2 codec calls. Freaking hilarious." Okay. And we've got Serenia Sakari says, can't wait to laugh tonight. Thank you, Nick, Ty, and chat. I just started my Warhammer 40k book collection. Cool. Good luck, buddy.
Oop.
West Nile Chan says, Nick, it's JB. I need you to retrieve HB's laptop from a repair shop in Delaware. I know what you want. I've seen the pic. Once the laptop is back, I can help. I can make you black. Thank you. West Nile Chan. Weirdo with a cello says, when somebody won't shut up about politics, I've taken to saying they're all idiots and I can do better. But as a young traded man, what are my odds if I actually do run for office? Also for Ty, cotton sluts. Here's the thing. What are your odds if you actually do run for office? Don't have anything embarrassing at all in your background, which is really hard to do now, especially with us being on the internet so much. And then it's really about making connections to the right people to get your name on the primary list is actually the first hurdle.
Well, and as someone who's had a number of fundraisers for political candidates and over the last 4 or 5 years, about 5 years ago, 5 or 6 years ago, I ran a judge's reelection campaign successfully, and we whipped our opponent good and solid. And I got interested in it. I'll tell you this: it's hard work. Those guys, it is running for office is itself a full-time job, and a lot of times, especially the first time, you're trying to hold down whatever normal job you've got. In Texas, we pay our legislators essentially nothing. I mean, they would qualify for food stamps if they tried to rely upon that. And it's not because we're stingy with money. That is part of it. We want a citizen legislature. We want a legislature of part-time people who have regular jobs. And man, I remember the judge whose campaign I ran, Judge Clark. She would be in that courtroom all day long, leave the courtroom at 5:30 or so, and then go to one or two fundraisers until 10 p.m. that night. That's so running for office is a lot of work.
Yeah. Yeah, we're going through all these super chats.
Oh yeah, you're
okay. Here we go.
I'm just sitting there. You're all good.
The stream can hear you if you talk from time to time because your mic's on.
Oh,
but it's okay. I mean, it'll be fine.
Oh no,
you can't hear Ty or anything.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay. So Drago says, "Hi, Nick and Ty. What's up?" Uriah Wright says, "Look up Old Town Grope by Rucka Rucka Ali. It's hilarious." Oh, I bet that is.
Old Town Grope?
Old Town Grope. Yeah.
Is that about Biden? Or
yeah,
is it just
Rucka does parody songs, and it's a parody of that Old Town Road song, I'm guessing.
Oh, okay.
Twilight Dragon 3 says, "Have either you or Ty seen the Weekend at Biden's ad yet?" No,
No.
I have not. Everybody loves Gav. Says Rial said on Twitter that VAs are not public figures. When asked, did anyone recognize her when she voted, she said nobody. That's the brilliance of voice acting. Mike Mysterio 13 says, "Let's get ready to rumble." Slub 45 says, "Apparently some guy got arrested after he posted a rage comic on some app asking if he should kill Joe Biden. They found him in Biden's hometown with $500,000 in cash, several guns, and pounds of tannerite." Whoa.
$500,000?
Why did he have $500,000 in cash? Like, if I'm going to go ice someone, I'm not bringing my money with me.
No. Why would you do that?
Nexi says, "Mush mouth moderator needs a glass of water." 26 Jaeger says, "Zig Zeon from Ty, please." Thanks for having me on.
What does that mean?
It's from Gundam, the Zeon Empire, but it obviously has some roots in something else. So if you don't want to say it, that's okay.
Oh, am I supposed to say it?
You're supposed to say Zig Zeon.
Zig Zeon.
Yeah.
As in Zig Heil, I guess.
Right, but
maybe.
Zeon.
Zig Zeon, yeah.
Yeah.
Is that the one where they is that the one where they made the big Fuhrer bullshit thing in the deposition about, or is that something else?
I don't think that was from that.
I think
Vic
some of the anime
Vic wasn't in Gundam. No, that was from not Full Metal Alchemist. It was from something else.
Yeah, but isn't that an anime thing where they'll base like some of the alien races off of historical Earth groups like the Nazis or whoever?
It was Full Metal Alchemist. Okay.
Or am I just gibbering?
No, they do. There's iconography and thematic stuff. I don't think the Zeons are actually Nazis, but they might. I don't know if they were like fascistic or something. I don't remember.
Yeah.
So anyway, Nova Zero says, "I wish Trump would have said that the leadership he's shown isn't done. That the proof is the country he loves and lives in is still as good as it was."
Dude, we left out one of the cool zingers, by the way.
Okay.
Joe's all talk and no action.
Yeah,
that was devastating.
The chat reminded me of my line where I thought Trump messed up.
Okay.
Trump said, and I thought this is a bad thing to say, and if Biden would have pounced on it, it would have made him look good. Trump said, "I wish I could go away for a year and a half in a bunker."
We did talk about that. Remember?
Right.
Because I told you about Al Gore and the Quayle debate where Gore drilled Quayle on a similar point.
Yeah.
Quayle said, talked about wanting to impose term limits, and Gore said, "Yeah, we're going to limit some terms."
Right.
Not a big Gore fan, but that was unfortunately a very good shot.
And if I thought if Biden would have said, "Well, we've got an opportunity for you to go hide in whatever bunker you want come November."
But here's the thing, right?
Let the leaders
we're back to
lead.
Biden being senile.
Right. He can't do it.
And that's what I was saying. Trump, these things are always fluid. So every candidate's going to make their share of mistakes. I mean, it's inevitable. But Where Biden was at a huge disadvantage is he can't think on his feet. Trump, on the other hand, does nothing but think on his feet.
Right.
And it makes him a very difficult opponent if you really think it through, because he's constantly doing that Borg thing of adjusting in real time, and very unwise for them to underestimate him.
Yeah, to finish out Nova's chat, he says, "Who cares about Biden's plan to plan?" I agree. Yeah, that was the whole thing. We'll tell you about it when we get in there. Painful Buggery says, "My dad got the vaccine because he works for the UAE royalty. It has been in development for 12 months. He laughed when I asked the implications." Trip, the left-handed Polak, says, "Ty, check your mic input. You're speaking from a bucket." That was yesterday, though.
Oh, that was okay. Yeah.
Nova Zero says, "Keep citing China, Joe. There's nothing more transparent than CCP China, who defeated the virus by locking people in their homes and dying of starvation. Go figure you won't die."
Something else Trump, by the way, was effective on.
Right.
He wants to shut the country down. He wants to shut the country. Trump must have said that at least 3 times. And Biden over there trying to just gibber his way through it, when obviously that's what he's saying should have been done.
Mm-hmm. Yep, it was crazy. That's the whole thing. You need to do masks and work on a vaccine. That's what we did. He
didn't even, Nick, if you notice, he didn't even do that this time.
No.
This time it was we'll have a plan, and that happened. That was one of my notes here, was over and over he would make vague pronouncements, no specifics. And here's where the bias of the moderator comes in. When Trump would do that, the moderator would ask for clarification or for details. Biden does it, they let it go.
Yep.
By the way, I want to recommend to the stream, watch the unedited interview between Leslie Stahl and Trump.
Oh, the one that Trump's campaign released?
Yes. Oh my God. Talk about pawning the and the man's got the patience of Job, because I would have either stormed off or just taken a baseball bat and started beating that woman senseless, because she is, well, it's that passive aggressive, whiny, nasal, "But Mr. President," she'd ask a question, he'd answer it. She just asked it again because he didn't give her the answer she wanted. Mm-hmm. And it's just, I mean, anyway, you can imagine how they would have cut that interview up and edited it. But anyway, if you want to have a nice 30-minute enjoyment, watch that tape. It's pretty good.
Mithran Emrys says, "You mean let the states decide, kind of like Trump is letting them do now? Or is Joe going to say, screw state sovereignty and enact measures that will be unenforceable unless he decides to impose military rule?" I don't think Joe knows. Like I genuinely don't think they have any plan worked out, and they're just
not.
Because I think the plan is to just open up the country when the election's over.
Well, they've all but said that. Yeah, I will criticize Trump a little bit. I think Trump could have done a better job. What I would have loved to have heard him say was something like, "Sounds like Biden is angry that I let the Democratic governors run their states the way they wanted to."
Yeah.
That
or ruin their states the way they wanted to. That would have been a good line. Bad Vibe says, "Hey, Lion Biden, our governors are forcing that now." Patrick L says, "I'd like to see Joe try to institute his safety measures in a shipyard like where I work." Mario Carter 13 says, "New York rounded the curve. No one left to kill." Zoom, and kind of by killing off the elderly population like that. Oof.
There was a point at which Trump, I thought, was actually being very, very genuine when he was talking about how New York City has been completely ruined by the actions of their idiot mayor and idiot governor. He's a New Yorker. Trump is a quintessential New Yorker. Mm-hmm. And you could see, I mean, he genuinely, is pained by that. These blue state governors are going to be in some kind of real deep wazoo if Trump wins, and he's going to win. I want to go ahead and just say it. I haven't changed my opinion on this one bit. When Trump wins, what are those blue state governors who have wrecked their states' economies, destroyed their states' economies? It'll be interesting to see if the populations actually hold them accountable.
How many of these are there? Let's see.
Ty uses big words. Well,
Oh dear Christ.
Oh, are we not moving at a sufficient clip?
Ty,
Yeah.
there are well, no, not all of these count. Hold on. I just got to go through.
So I'd better shut up, I think is what I'm hearing here.
Okay, so we got to get to there's 230 left. So
Well,
we're going to have to move through some of these.
let us crack on then, shall we?
Yeah. At Zuma99 says, only thing I can say about Trump is he owns up to the things he's done. Biden, on the other hand, not so much. DCV Titan says, New York reduced COVID numbers by Cuomo infecting all the vulnerable people in the early stages by sending infected to nursing homes.
Uh-huh.
Yep. Gerard Garvin says, why no suit? We deserve to know. It's because I had to record a little video with Lady Rackets, and I was not going to be in a suit for that. And then my hair was done, and I didn't want to undo it to put on a suit, and I didn't have time. I was already late. Samurai Zenji says, the American people knew how bad the virus can be. The media was downplaying it, as well as other ignorant citizens. Kate4394 says, the American people don't panic. Joe, do you remember when we were all out of toilet paper? That was a terrible line from Biden. And Trump actually laughed. He actually laughed when he said the American people don't panic. Because of course they do. They're people. They panic.
Yeah.
And we panicked.
They did.
Right.
We did. You know, I mean.
Mithrin Emrys says, who would those be those companies that have your son sitting on the board? Ooh. Zensway says,
that's different because shut up.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So does this mean he wants to start a war with Russia by them paying the price? Yeah, that's the other problem in all this. It's real easy to say that these countries will pay the price and will do something. And you go in and you start sanctioning Russia. You start, what are you going to do? Line troops up for their election interference?
I thought that Biden, and I know I'm going to try not to extend this out, but I thought that Biden was way too repetitive and on that whole, we need to hold them accountable. And the moderator, again, showing the kind of subtle kind of biases they can have, never one time said, how are we going to hold them accountable? And I wish Trump, again, and these are quibbles, right? But it'd have been nice for Trump to go, Joe, how do you hold a nuclear power accountable, actually? Would you, or to the moderator, why don't you ask Joe how he's going to do that? Because a lot of Biden's crap was that way, right? He'd make these broad pronouncements. I'm going to do this, but the moderator would never follow up with how. And you know damn well that she would have done that to Trump.
Yeah,
because she did.
Right.
You remember that point where she thought she was going to zinger him? She said, "What companies, Mr. President?" And he goes, "Well, Merck's doing this, Johnson and Johnson." Yeah, it's like, oh, honey, bless her heart.
That was bad look.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, it's good.
Sorry.
Fox McLeod says, I encourage people in France to vote for Marine Le Pen. Does that mean I interfered with the French election? No, and that's one of the other problems they have with this is that there's a big difference between foreign interference and foreign speech. And and Biden was part of the administration that did interfere in the Israeli elections. Well, and of course failed. Let's not talk about that.
Yeah, I'm kind of not
really
wanting to be lectured about that.
Like if a company wants to do an ad buy in the U.S. and say, yeah, you know what? We want you to vote for whatever because we think it'll be good for Korean Air if Joe Biden wins or something. What's wrong with that? The interference is a different thing than just speech.
Yeah, I mean, if there's any number of reasons why it might be a bad idea for a country to stick its nose in our domestic policies because, well, if you lose,
right?
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing.
The president has a whole lot of influence on foreign policy. It's kind of his deal.
But if they want to do it,
but if they want to do it, yeah,
that's up to them, and that is speech that's protected. Okay, so Eugene Ford says Biden is part of the same party that wanted to keep slaves. Mithrin Emrys says, how much has Hunter taken that he's passed along to you, Joe? Zombies Killer 240.
50% according to one email. He's bitching about having to give Joe 50% of the take.
Yeah. What are your guys' thoughts on DACA? Should the DACA recipients become U.S. citizens or be deported?
No.
I don't know if they should be deported because, a kid whose parent brings them here that kid doesn't have agency. It's a complicated question. And I don't think it gets solved without fixing our immigration system in general.
Well, since our immigration system isn't going to get fixed, the answer is no.
No, maybe that's.
Well, I mean, because it is. The problem is you cannot write a set of rules that will be fair to the imaginary DACA person and not let the actual, criminal gang member DACA person stay here. They're here illegally. They need to be taken out. I mean, it's removed is what I meant.
Oh, no. Ty advocated for the murder of all DACA.
There you go. Yeah, that's me. All right.
Richard
I understand the immigration department of my law firm. We handle immigration stuff because, well, that's business.
Oh, yeah. Good business, too.
Yeah.
Richard Freeman says, Trump, please hammer Biden on how his son's PC has been turned into the police for allegedly real lolly material. Jessica Eustace says, never thought I'd watch the murder of an elderly man live on C-SPAN. I pity Joe. He should be spending what time and memory he has left with his family. Abuse. That's brutal.
I think I did when I went to bed at 1:30 in the morning, Thursday night, or Friday morning, actually. I think I did get on Facebook briefly. Just went, Trump committed elder abuse.
Yeah.
I hope they don't call Adult Protective Services on him.
Sakaki Onsai says Biden, his bro Daryl, and his other brother Daryl. Alex 1607 says Trump is keeping calm and knowing his lines. Biden is grasping at straws. He knows whatever he says, Trump will retaliate. This is beautiful. Reddit Silver member says, I don't see the big deal about the bank account in China. That's just...
And no one does. Trump was very articulate on that. He said, I did business in Trump before I ever ran for president. So, of course, I had a bank account.
Yeah, it's... in fact... China...
And the stupid part is that's one of the things that opened up the whole Hunter Biden thing, right?
Right. And China's government may have required him to have a local bank account to secure taxes on any transactions or deals that he did. They may have...
It may have just been good business to have an account in the bank who's run by the brother of one of the local Communist Party officials. That's business. Welcome to business. Welcome to international business.
And I can't.
No, I thought Trump did a great job though of just saying this is ridiculous.
He says. He also says that's just CHINK change to someone as rich as Trump.
I ain't saying that word. Come on, guys.
I don't know if YouTube would like that one. Jesse Taylor says, thanks for being here, gents. Oh, you're welcome. I stayed the whole time. Extraordinary Jackson says,
you were with us in spirit anyway, Nick.
I was in spirits.
Yeah, your presence was never far away from us.
Would it kill her to get jaw reduction surgery? Says Extraordinary Jackson. Sukotsu Clone says Biden's only strategy left for him: deny, deflect, deny, deflect, deflect, deny, deflect, deny. Practice Smile says it's so biased. Wrong person picked. I want better. You're never gonna get better.
You're never gonna get better.
They'll be like this forever. DCV Titan says, and how did that work out for Hitler? I don't know. I don't remember.
How did what work
Jessica
out?
Eustace says he ribs North Korea like any good pal. Mets 2128 says, oh, that was on the North Korea talk where
where Trump was being criticized by Biden for actually being having a decent relationship with the leader of North Korea, a lunatic nuclear power that we really do need to figure some way to get control of.
Right, and they're like, the U.S. was friends with Hitler right up until he invaded. It's like,
that was stupid. Well, besides being inaccurate, that was just stupid.
And it's like,
what about the Abraham Lincoln Hitler thing?
Yeah, that was weird.
That was a
when he said that Abraham Lincoln, was a racist or whatever. No, it wasn't even that. What did he say? I tweeted it
They
out.
called him a racist. He called him Trump said, "I've done more for the African American community probably than anyone except Abraham Lincoln." And you know what? That as boastful as that sounds, that's probably an accurate statement.
Oh yeah, Joe just Joe just said Abraham Lincoln was the most racist president in American history.
Yeah, something like that. And it was like,
I mean, some might put up people like Andrew Jackson with the Trail of Tears. Like that.
Yeah, I would.
That's a strong candidate.
I can think of a whole lot of more racist presidents.
Woodrow Wilson resegregating the military.
Yeah. Woodrow Wilson, the Democrat, a Democrat, as I recall.
Oh yeah. Okay, so Mets 2128 says Joe needs to learn Psalm 12, 1271. Unless the Lord builds the house, the laborers build in vain, and his house is about to fall. Big Hawk says Trump sounds like a battle rapper on Hunter Head. Hemiatlos says, "Did you hear that, Bernie Bros? You got beat." That was a mistake by Joe. I think I beat
Nick,
those guys.
I need to do one little. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Finish that.
It was just when Joe was raving about how he beat Bernie Sanders. I'm like, Joe, you need the Bernie Bros. You need those guys in your corner.
Yeah, but see, the thing is, they know he's lying. That whole thing of him throwing them under the bus, man, they're in. I think.
I hope I just want him to stay home.
Yeah, I think there's a good. Let's talk about that when this is all over, because I have an interesting. I saw something that struck my fancy on that, but I got to do one thing for the chat because might as well just get to it now. I don't think so, Tim.
Okay. HB
Home Improvement.
Oh, okay, gotcha. From the gotcha. From the shirt.
And my wife was like, "Honey, you look nice in that shirt. Would you wear it? You wear it on next show?" And I said, "Oh my God, they're going to be comparing with Al Borland."
Well, I've seen a lot of lumberjacks. Like is Ty's sexual orientation.
My lunch.
Is Ty's sexual orientation lumberjack now?
I don't know. If they give you $500, I guess I'll do the lumberjack song for you.
Oh God. HB says Biden.
I can do it from memory. I'm not proud of that fact, but I can.
Some of us also can. HB says Biden Harris 2020. Everybody gets a free pony and a blown. Damn. Jessica Eustace says, remember Pelosi went and got her hair did during an unprecedented nationwide shutdown while millions of citizens lost their jobs.
Oh, and by the way, Trump hits that in his on his stump speeches. I heard him today on one. He's like, I read this, and she said she was set up by a hair salon. And I'm going, if that's true, why is she in charge of the house? She shouldn't be in charge of the house.
Yep. Lancelot 652 says they're criminals, Joe. Guess what happens to American criminals with kids? They get separated from their kids. That's about the border stuff. That's a good point.
Did you see the idiot liberal blue check berserk fury on the word coyote?
That was so funny because David Hogg was tweeting about it. He's like,
stupid isn't that little shit's 15 minutes over? I thought it was like over a year ago.
It should have been over.
Good God. I wish Nick Salmon would just go punch him out, because he does have a punchable face. Yeah, the whole coyote thing. I mean, the stupid is suffocating. You start reading that, it's like,
oh my God, people are
journalists. Which again, we know they're idiots, but my God, what is all this? They're going to actually show us to be, show that to be the case lately.
Yeah. Michael Tynan says, "Who built the cages, Joe?"
Could be the line of the campaign. If Trump wins, could be one of the lines of the campaign.
Nick's Hex says, in Biden voice, sing, "I'm an old cow hand from the Rio Grande." Grand.
It's grand. It's
I know. Grand. It's I can't read it that way. Trashfire
I'm
Comics.
An old cow hand. Come on, man.
Trashfire Comics says, "Are you live streaming a snuff film?" Kind of looked like it. Nivok Orc says, "I detest this woman who keeps helping Joe and interrupting Trump." Yeah, she was very unlikable, to quote John Malkovich. You are unlikable.
You're
Nova
unlikable.
Nova Zero says, could I get a cage Biden 2020? Hey, steel industry, help us out. Get to work. Premium cage, best cage, greatest cage. Let's make California pay for it. Let's also cage everyone who asks the stupid race question. Drink, Nikki. Not today. Gelth Walker.
Oh, by the way, on that Leslie Stahl clip, you get to hear her arguing with the president that the Hunter Biden laptop is completely discredited.
Oh my God.
Oh, it's glorious. Guys, you got to see it. If you want to just see the absolute unbiased, unvarnished bias. And what's striking about that whole thing is how even-tempered and calm and polite Trump is as he just picks her apart like a little kid plucking the wings off of an insect. You know, it's really good.
Gelth Walker says, at 2,000 likes, you got to take a double shot, Rackets. Alex1607
and
says,
see, that's how it started.
Alex1607 says, it's past 3 a.m. for me. Read my last one and have another drink. I tried to tweet to Biden who built the cages, and I am stopped for aggressive speech. As a centrist Brit bong.
On Twitter? On Twitter.
As a centrist Brit bong, Trump is looking good. Mike Mysterio says, and for the next question, they bring in the steel cage. How will Sleepy Joe escape this one? Frederick Little says, Nick, if you hit 2,500 likes, you and Ty do back-to-back shots of the strongest liquor currently in your houses live on the stream.
No.
Mario Carter 13 says, I learned it from watching you, Trump. DCV Titan says, we know you're an effing liar, Joe. Kate 4394 says, you know my character. Yes, we do, Joe. Hashtag hair sniffer. Lance Clemmings says, the best defense is a good offense. Once you got them by the balls, don't let them go. Keep squeezing until they go down for good.
And if you've got them by the balls, their hearts and minds will soon follow.
DCV Titan says, Democrats, it's always Russia. Lancelot.
Russia.
He says, Lancelot says, Russia. Jeez, I feel like I live in the Cold War. Did Kennedy come back?
Well, didn't Trump at one point basically say, you guys, it's always Russia, or something like that? He poked fun at that at one point.
Trump should have said, back in 2012, Mitt Romney said Russia was the biggest threat, and you and President Obama made fun of him for being so short-sighted.
Oh, that's different. That's different because shut up.
Yeah. He should have hit that. That was the third debate for Obama. Dean Domino 25 says, I ran because of you, Joe. Might be a kill shot. That was a good line.
He did. He did. Did he do it in the debate or did he do it in that Leslie Stahl interview?
No, he did it in the debate. He said,
good.
I ran because of you, Joe. I ran because of you.
That's actually true.
Yeah.
And for best we can tell, because supposedly the week after Romney got beat, Trump went down and trademarked Make America Great Again and began the process of because he knew, he knew what a disaster it was going to be. And of course he knew that we were going to run some feckless, pearl clutching twerp like Jeb.
Oh, Jeb would have been great.
Oh God.
Ryan Murray says, I voted today in person in Florida wearing a MAGA mask. I've worn it for the last 3 months in New York, Florida, and Washington. Of about 100 people that have come up to me and commented on my mask, all the interactions have been positive.
Ooh, that's interesting.
Kate 44.
Oh, by the way, the night of the debate, I got a text from Brianna after she went home. Somebody swept through our neighborhood and stole through our street and stole all the Trump signs.
Oh, wow.
As you might imagine, there's a Trump sign literally in every,
Yeah, that's a lot of Trump signs.
Well, except for one house that has a Biden sign.
Yep.
And, by the way, the Trump sign replacement brigade had replacement signs by 10 a.m. the next morning.
Nice.
Yeah.
Kate 4394 says, stick a fork in Biden. He's done. CE says, look, we got clean air, but countries like Vietnam are literally burning piles and piles of plastic to get rid of it. Cocky Onsai says, stop talking over Trump, you boomers. No.
None, damn it.
None your business says this keeps.
We matter. Our opinion matters.
This keeps pissing me off. Biden is not our vice president. Pence is. He is former vice president. Last time I checked, America only has one vice president at a time. Also, let's get back to who bought the. Hold on, I gotta. Cages. Who bought the cages? I do want to say though that the president and the vice president titles stick with you forever.
That's an affectation, but yeah, I think you're right.
It's just a custom that we do, and people may not like it. That's okay, but it's just a custom that we've done. Why it's still President Obama.
They dragged Obama out, by the way. Have you noticed that at the last? I think that's because Trump has been so effective destroying Biden over his vice presidency, which, of course, by implication,
yeah.
attacks the bringer of light.
They have to bring Obama out. It's the only chance.
I don't think Obama wants any piece of that because I think he knows that Biden is likely to get his head handed to him.
Pyrodor says, check your Twitter tag, shared YouTube link. Okay. Ryan Ferrier says he just shared the fracking video to his Twitter. Jet Fink says, if you drink that Lagavulin, I will drink with you as I have restocked with a 16-year. That was probably
this is how it happened.
Conan the Barbarian says, everything Biden just said about refineries is a lie. I'm from South Jersey and grew up next to refineries. Kosk says, man, she's really bad at tard wrangling, Lamau. Robert H says, you paid more in taxes than I made last year before taxes. DCV Titan says, no, it's analysis. Yep, that's right. Analysis, not analysis. Yosa Singh says, we'll choose hope over fear as he scares people about not seeing your family members anymore from COVID in both debates he's in. Yeah. Oh, he's been fear-mongering the COVID stuff for a while.
Okay, let me jump to that real quick because I got to say this. I don't want to forget it.
Yeah.
The early voting numbers appear, at least as far as I can tell, to be roughly split 50-50 Republican-Democrat, right? Okay. If that really is true, this is going to be a holocaust for the Democrats because the polling on the opinion of COVID, the Democrats have succeeded in basically utterly terrorizing their base over COVID. They think that COVID is Captain Trips from the stand, okay?
Right.
And if early voting came out 3/4 Democrats, 1/4 Republican, you'd say, okay, well then, that's a good thing. But if it's 50-50, that means that a bunch of Democrats aren't going to vote because they're not going to go up there and stand in line. Democrats may have succeeded in suppressing their own vote. And won't that be just glorious if that turns out to be the case?
Yeah, we'll have to
fear-mongering is it's a dangerous political move. It really is. And we'll see.
Bad Vibes. Good. No, that's fine. Bad Vibes says Trump almost gave me alcohol poisoning. He said Joe locked up, but damn it, just missed it. Cody Byer says the media dropped this mic muting rule, expecting it to hurt Trump. They didn't expect him to adapt and change his strategy to strong, pithy zingers and letting Biden squirm. This was brutal. Yep.
Totally agree.
Yeah.
Said much more pithily than I did. So well done.
Engineer Gaming says Engineer Gaming. So there you go. Thank you. Scott Johnson says, don't hurt yourself, big man. Listen. Everybody
someone
hurts.
Trying to help you besides me.
Jessica Eustace says, Nick is the best e-girl. I'm okay simping for him. Aiden Paladin says, R.I.P. Nick. Patrick Els says, I pity your liver, Brigade of Law. Yeah, me too. Mr. Ruby Elf says, voted for Trump today. Don't have the heart to tell my parents and friends I voted for him. Lol, my friends are already trying to dunk on Trump, saying he's racist and sounds like a villain. Come on now. Jessica Eustace says, just don't turn into another pill stream. Lol. Look, I will never take pills on a stream. Tony J says, 40K in taxes. You heard him, boys. Griff Champion needs more super chats. Go, go, go. Did I say that on stream? I
don't know, man. The night was, crazed for me too.
Look, taxes was was not good this year. A lot of taxes. Mirnam007 says, anyone who thinks Biden came out on top is living in a MSM reality fueled by soy. Also, did you see what went down between Brian Stetler and Susan Ferrocchio? Absolute gold. Nope. No idea.
But I'm sure, but Stetzer got his ass kicked because, well, you know.
Yeah.
I think he's in the latter stages of gender reassignment surgery, isn't he? I mean, it looks like.
I don't even know who these people are or care.
He's
about them.
that round-headed, like Charlie Brown looking twerp on CNN.
Sure.
I used to call him Tater.
Agrilith says, happy 300th timestamp tomorrow or something. Dude, you do too much work. I love it. K. Shiloh Williams says, here's to a rousing show, an absolute thrashing, and a new whiskey. God Emperor protect you, Nick. Cheers to you, Ty.
The God Emperor withheld his protection that night, sadly.
But he raised me.
Well, you know what? Maybe he didn't. It could have been. Maybe it was going to be far worse if the Emperor hadn't have intervened.
Right. Tammy Barnwell says, as a nurse, I would love to talk to you regarding the way you misinterpreted what Biden was saying. I'm a Republican, but as a nurse and someone on disability, I understand what Biden wants. Tammy, if you
Biden doesn't understand what he wants.
If you happen to see this, email me because I don't remember what at this point I was.
I read that chat, and I think I did say it. I think our response then was the same as it just was. Biden doesn't know what he wants.
Cheney Gearhart, thank you for the donation. Romer Migtow says, we demand a separate segment called Story Time with TY capitalized. DCV
okay.
Titan says, hail hydrate. Nexi says, booby booby bum bum. Ooey 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 99 says, peer pressure Nick to take another shot. No. This is after, I think. I think I was dead now.
It's like an archaeological dig of a bad mistake. It's like
CJ says VA TRICARE was horrible. It is socialized medicine, and it's horrible. Jillian Seed says, hi, Ty. And
hey.
Tengen Ken says, what are your rates to fist fight Lemoyne, Ty?
I don't fight for money.
Sakaki anymore. Sakaki Onside says, overheard in a side debate room per Jack Prosobiec. It's going to be a long second term. Honestly, Trump is taking Pennsylvania tonight. We'll see. Joseph Kerwin says, if Nick were a furry, what kind of furry would he be?
You know, you got to wonder, will the people of Pennsylvania actually vote for a guy who says, please vote for me so that I can put you out of business?
Some of them will. That's the hardest part.
Well, sure. But I mean, but will a majority of them? And I am an optimist. I think the American people are a lot smarter than the Democrats are giving them credit for. Let's hope that my optimism is, justified.
I'd obviously be a fish because that's how I was drinking. CJ says, as a disabled vet, I can attest to that. Mike Mysterio, what's your take on the Biden laptop issue, as well as the guy who's willing to authenticate Ty? He's asking you. They're asking you.
Oh, I'm sorry. What was the question?
I'm gone at this point. So these are all.
Okay. These are all right. Because I think the deal was at that point, I was just reading it was like last in, first out.
Yeah.
So these were probably coming in as I was starting. Okay. What was the question again?
What's your take on the Biden laptop issue, as well as the guy who's willing to authenticate the laptop? Of course, that
best October surprise other than the Trump tapes in 2016.
Yeah,
they are authenticated for all practical purposes. I mean, you notice Biden even in the debate, Biden never one time said they are phony. They're all that's been, what did he say? He said it is very weird the way he said it, discredited or something like that. I forgot exactly how he said it, but the Biden campaign could have just said 5 days ago, that laptop is a complete fraud. Their problem is the FBI has it's not, and the FBI has it.
Yeah.
And while they, while it's probable that the FBI will continue to cover for them, they can't count on that.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Anyway, that's my take.
So do we want to read the ones that I don't know if you went through all of these.
I didn't. I mean, it was spotty because what I was doing is I was clicking on them as they showed up on my screen. Sure. So I'm sure I missed some. And
Well, let's
You know,
let's just blaze
Didn't-
through.
let's just crack on and
Jay-
tear through them.
Jay Galt 17, and I think Drex and I are gonna play some video games after this. Isn't that right?
Either way, man.
Yeah.
Games or movies.
Games or movies?
Oh, I did read when Ty left. I read all of your chats about the Justice Chat.
Oh, okay. I'll have
Yeah.
to go back to the Justice chats and get those. I think. Oh, maybe I should do that right now. Let me get that pulled up. Stream Lambs. That's not the right website.
Eagle Loan, yeah, and Nick has one job to do. Sorry, I was reading one of the stream things.
What's my one job to do?
Well, this.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Yes.
It is. Donation history. Here we go. So I can.
I mean, snarking at the universe, can that really be called a job? Or is that
Hey,
more
look,
like a calling?
Some people are not as successful at it than me, So I
Oh, no. I mean, you do it at an epic level. No question.
Okay, here we go. Arctic Pride says again, Nick, a wise man once said, forgiveness is divine, but never ever pay full grift for late and gay internet lawyers. Ties Tied Tie says, Grifter Lord Tie, what's your preferred knot for your ties? I've preferred a double Windsor knot as they don't look like a cheap car salesman. Rackets. Damn. I go with the half
That's
Windsor.
hard.
I do half Windsor because I'm lazy. Why would I?
Yeah, I do too, actually. But,
Yeah.
you know.
Okay, so the next is the Pie Baker. Says,
I don't actually know what my tie, all kidding aside, I don't actually know what my tie knot is. I learned how to do it in Cub Scouts when I was 10 years old.
is it just the one where you like pull, you wrap it around, you go around the loop, and then you pull it over and pull it through? Real simple.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a half
I
Windsor.
think so.
You're fine.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it's, you know, it just always worked.
The Pie Baker says, yo, Nick, I know you haven't looked into the Fig Opera divorce, but a few updates. The cuck retained a lawyer to try and appeal his legal guardianship, renegotiate divorce. He kept car, house, and no alimony. And child support, he pays 15% less than he should. And then he says, if you want, my fiance would be up for a stream, perhaps a Drex, to go into the multiple stages of this 30-year-old legally considered a child attempts to dig himself a deeper grave in the coming weeks. Maybe. Flandre Scarlett says Biden has fallen a long way from his VP debate with Paul Ryan in 2012, where he was a dunk machine with a shit-eating grin. I still remember that debate. By comparison, this is just embarrassing.
Mm-hmm.
Who built the cages, Joe? Says, I am a white female with two cops as parents. When I got my license, my parents told me to keep my hands on the wheel and only move when asked, so it ain't just a black thing. Lane K 1978 says they need to go back to the debate not being set time. Also, Biden is a gullible idiot muppet that doesn't realize that the majority of kids don't come across the border illegally with their parents. Also, Yahoo would not allow this to be sent. I think he means YouTube. Sixth Ranger says, I got banned from YouTube for saying BLM rioted, so take some against online censorship. Damn. Really? They went after you for that? Who built the cages, Joe?
They shut down the New York Post.
Well, Twitter did. YouTube didn't.
Twitter did, yeah. But I mean, this is a newspaper created by Alexander Hamilton.
Oh, so someone asked, what's up with the cages? Real quick. The cages were their cages at border facilities where presumably you would lock people up in cages if they were crossing the border illegally while they were detained before they would be sent back. The cages were a big major news story about how Trump was evil for locking people in cages. Turned out those cages were built by Barack Obama and Joe Biden during their
and back to the unforced error thing, right? If I'm a strategist for the Democrats, I'm going, look, let's don't bring that up, because if they want to, they can cram it right down our throat by pointing out that, well, we're the ones that built them. Who is that? Why does that person apparently not exist?
Right
On the Democrat side? I don't understand.
No idea. Who built the cages? Joe says, last time I checked, we only have one vice president at a time. He is former Vice President Biden, not Vice President Biden. Terminated 4 years ago, and Pence is our vice president. That's very similar to that super chat.
Yeah.
Ron the Gunt Rider says, damn, I thought Trump won the first debate narrowly, but he crushed Biden tonight. All hail God Emperor. Crusader Saracen
accurate.
Says, I missed most of it. How's Trump doing? Has the mic muting been hamstringing him? No.
No.
Six Ranger says, here's to justice from a YouTube banned MF. Man, send me your story, Sixth Ranger, if you see this. Crusader Saracen
YouTube locked James Woods for saying feats don't fail me now, according to
YouTube or Twitter.
It says Twitter. Yeah.
They are on full lockdown mode on Hunter Biden. I better tweet real quick so I can get my account locked. Tweet.
Yeah.
Hey, at Twitter support. Why are you
Is Hunter paying you in blow or is he paying you in cash?
Why are you guys running interference for Hunter Biden?
Well, I want to know if they get paid in yuan or they get paid in dollars.
What's a feet person? Like, they're not a pedophile, but they're a pedophile, right? Like, is it pedophile? Like PIED? There's
what do they call it? Yeah, I think feet. Pedo. Hold on. Yeah, I think it's PETA. Or yeah.
Let's see.
No. What do they call it when you get like a foot massage thing?
It's
pedicure. It's PETA. PEDA, not PEDO.
No, it's not PEDA. Maybe it's
not.
No.
Well, it's a pedicure when you get your feet done.
Huh. Yeah.
Someone actually said, you ought to get you a pedicure. It's actually pretty good. And so imagine me listening and going, no.
Okay. Well,
no, it's a good.
I get what it's called, but it doesn't have a dictionary definition of the word. So I just said, why are you guys running interference for Hunter Biden?
I think that gets the point across.
Yeah.
Interference.
Okay.
Metophile, according to the stream.
Crusader Saracen says, did Trump smack Joe with Hunter's laptop hard enough? I just heard on Twitter the moderator swooped in and saved Biden's ass. I don't know if he did it hard enough.
No, the moderator did not do a very good job of saving Biden's ass. She tried valiantly, but Trump had her number, and Joe gave her no help whatsoever. It was an always glorious.
Kay says we will not have a police force in 10 years if the war on cops is not entirely reversed. Stopping the MSM getting away with horrifying censorship should be reason enough. They will come for you if Biden wins. Make no mistake, Nick. Oh, I'm under no illusions. Anyone who can get out of the country to somewhere if Biden wins, make plans. I think that's a bit strong, but if not...
Friendly advice to the stream, though. Everybody go out and get your cars filled up next week. Make sure you got a week's worth of food or so in your house. Little things like that. Probably nothing will happen, but just better safe than sorry.
If you can't get out of the country, do whatever you can to get to a red state. They will persecute you the second they can. The MSM will let them get away with it. Your lives are at risk 100%. Crusader Saracen says, according to Jack Prosoviak on Twitter, Trump walked off the stage, turned to his staff and said, let's finish this, and walked off to the motorcade. Badass motherfucker right there.
Was there an explosion in the background as he walked forward towards the camera in slow motion?
I
mean,
it would have been great.
Yeah.
But yeah.
By the way, didn't Mrs. Trump look especially striking?
Oh,
you were too drunk. You were too drunk. Yeah, I don't know. She just seemed to look especially stunning.
Striking.
Yeah.
Kay says, while you're here, Ty, why did you not know that you couldn't notarize a statement over the phone? You answered this one, I think.
Yeah, because I'm an idiot. Let's move on.
It's everybody knows all the rules later. Crusader Saracen says, Trump just rolled out on Twitter a highlight reel of all the times Biden and Kamala said they're going to destroy the fracking industry. Goddamn, son, he had that one locked and loaded. Night of Hopex says, "Yo, Nick, I hope you puked that crap up. Man, you really overdid it. That was dumb. You ding dong. You big dumb dink. Jeez. Look, sometimes you drink too much.
Yeah, it happens.
It's okay.
But, you know, I've been sitting here singing the praises of Trump's team for being so well prepared. But the fact of the matter is, all they had to do is just say, well, if they do the same thing they did in the first debate, then they'll do blah, blah, blah and be prepared for it. I think they probably did more prep than that. But really, I mean, Biden did not make that very hard on Trump.
Quite Hung says, "Hey, Ty, good to see you. Could you please keep in your prayers for me, Nick, and the rest of the chat's good friend, Jim Mediker, who's dealing with lymphoma and various other ailments."
Oh, man. Sorry to hear that.
Xander's Rand says, "Drex, I think this is a good time for you to tell Lady Ricada about your plans if something happens to Nick." Wink, wink.
That must have been about the time Drex came on.
On Your Knees, B says, "Drex and Ty, I wish I had these lessons back in the 90s. Keep it up for the next generation where their fathers failed them."
Yes. That's when Drex and I were holding court about how to be a man, I think.
Night of Hopex says, "Drex, you got to let this poor man go to bed."
Yeah. 6 o'clock came awfully early the next morning.
Night of Hopex also says, he's got a couple here in a row. I'm going to read them together.
But I would do anything for you, Nick.
Oh, thank you.
But I wouldn't do Monica. No, I didn't say that.
Good God. Why would you say that? Are you drinking?
It just popped in there.
Creating a new type of society isn't feasible. What you have done to strengthen individuality and the principle of human autonomy, people will never evolve into a perfect being that can maintain a single era society, and that society couldn't further adapt. Type of society you propose was thought of a long time ago. It's called Plato's Republic. That's pretty much the most authoritarian society you can possibly imagine. Moreover, it's been criticized extensively. You should look into those criticisms.
Because it's bullshit. Plato's Republic. I mean, it presumes a flawless, perfect class of of philosopher kings and all that bullshit. And if we haven't learned anything from the 20th century, we learned that all those beautiful theories about the authoritarianism always ends in hundreds of millions of people being killed.
Who needs hundreds of millions?
Well,
of people?
Not hundreds of millions, scores of billions.
Monster Hunter Noob says, "Hey, Drex, female friend of the family is now a single mother." Are you listening, Drex? I got a chat. This one's for you, and it's from the Justice chat, so you didn't read it. So if you listen, "Hey, Drex, female friend of the family is now a single mother. Long story short, she and her son have gotten a bit too clingy to me, and I don't know how to nip this in the bud now before it's too late without sounding like a prick. Help me."
He can either just clip it, but that'll make him sound like a prick. So he can also just have a new woman in his life.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, and then she's around like, "I'm doing this with this woman now, so I can't have time for you and your kid."
Yeah, that's there you go. Ferocia, and remember,
and he just rolls that off, right?
Yeah. Remember, you don't have an obligation to someone else and their kid just because they're clingy,
right?
But
that's good advice, I think.
Yeah. Ferocia says, "Condolences to the widow and orphans. Rip Nick's liver." Dang it.
They don't seem especially broken up at your pain that night, Nick.
They never are.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
This relationship you have with them might be a tad dysfunctional. Have you thought about that?
I have. I have. Okay, where are are these still? No, these are. Okay, this is hard to track here. These are all ones that we did yesterday. I think. Yeah. Okay. Me and Drex did yesterday from yesterday's show. The tracking Streamlabs donations is much less convenient than tracking super chats. So, Felipe Mouve, these are from today. So now, I think since you
have gotten some super chats tonight, despite your admonition.
I know I couldn't turn them off.
I think you have to take their money, Nick. I mean, they need to learn.
I do have to do it. But I did
Okay.
try to turn them off to keep it just relegated to the other day. There's a bunch of ones that were to Ty, but I was thinking you were reading those, so I don't know if we need to go through all the ones that you and Drex did.
We didn't really do that many, actually. I think we mostly just told everybody how to run their lives.
Drex did all of them.
Yeah, I think that was after I bailed, though.
Yeah.
Because when I was on, it was mostly me and him telling people how to, run their lives.
Here I see Drex Ty headphones. So let's go to, let's do a couple more of these real quick, and I think we'll get to the point where we got them all. This is from Jay Galt 1776 says, Ty, give more career general advice. Beautiful so far.
No.
Fox McLeod says, Ty, do you like Motorhead? If so, what's your favorite album?
I do remember that question. I remember having to punt because I can't remember any Motorhead albums. I like them, but long time ago.
Guys, I haven't done today's yet. We're still got today's to do. But these are still the last couple from yesterday. Ty, what's your thoughts on Wizards of the Coast lawsuit?
Nick and I have talked about it. I have some opinions, but maybe we'll talk about it later.
Yeah, I want to see their response and then maybe do a full show on it.
I want to see the discovery is what I want to see.
Yeah. Ryan Ferrier says, Nick has been gone for 8 minutes. How long until you give him a call to make sure he's still conscious? I believe I was conscious the whole time. Ken Jennings says, my VA therapist has over 1,200 patients. I'm a therapist myself, and a good number of clients is around 250 to 300. My sessions are 8 weeks apart. Dang. 101 Caliber says, hi, Ty. Vic was on Reason and Theology YouTube show last night. He's a truly wonderful man. Thank you for helping him. Oh, that was last night? Well, the night before the debate. Awesome. I
agree.
He's
a good guy.
But yeah, I think you guys got the rest of these. So let's jump to today's.
Yay, us.
I wanted to get the ones that were directed primarily to me, because
right, because it's all about you.
It is.
It's all about you, isn't it?
And then we've got today's chats, and then we'll wrap up the show for tonight. And then Drexel and I are going to do something different. We'll either watch a movie
or games.
What?
Are we going to do movie or games?
I don't know. What do you want to do?
I don't know. I mean, is there some god-awful movie that we can watch? Doesn't matter to me.
Tell Ty what movie we just watched.
Oh, shit.
Listen.
Wait, he can hear me, right?
Yeah, he can hear you.
Hey, Ty, we watched.
Can you hear me?
This is for you and the Beard family.
Do you want me to turn on the audio so you can hear him?
Oh, yeah, well, that works too.
Here, just give me 1 second. Don't talk for just a moment, and I'll swap it over. But
your kids drank all the water.
Okay.
Oh, now you can hear me?
Okay, Ty, give us some words.
Hey, Drexel, how are you?
Hey, Ty, what up, man?
Man, just another beautiful day on the farm.
Oh, yeah. I was actually watching you guys with Lady Rackets upstairs. She had the phone out before going to bed.
I think you had the better end of this than I did. But
hey, Ty,
wait a minute.
We endured. We didn't watch. We endured a movie today called Naked Guns.
No,
naked nuns.
Nude nuns.
Nude nuns
with big
guns.
Oh my goodness, that sounds glorious.
If
I'm a connoisseur of bad movies, so
if Drexel says there's an uncomfortable amount of nudity in a movie,
it was.
No kidding.
Yeah.
I mean,
it was.
Wow.
We're all watching it and we're like, okay, like
we got it.
There's gratuitous and then there's this.
I've never seen it was almost porno level of like in Thai. It wasn't good nudity always. Some good nudity.
I can tell from the tone.
It was
granny titties.
It was like there's a lot
of rop.
Like, okay,
when was this movie made? Was it
like 2019?
2019? Yeah, it's recent.
Oh, really?
That's
bizarre. Because during the 80s, the 80s were the era of gratuitous boobies.
Correct.
In movies. I mean, if there is such a thing. I mean,
Right.
You know,
No, but
the theoretical construct known as gratuitous boobies.
But so the thing is, picture a very bad movie, like poorly constructed, and they need to fill frames, right? They need time. They need to fill time. Now, every time that they need to fill time, they just add nudity, and it's like, okay, this is a lot. This is a shocking amount of nudity in this movie.
And in a day and age of ubiquitous porn everywhere on the internet, that's not a very effective way to do that.
No, it
would have
was,
worked in the 80s. There were any number of movies that just
it was
that.
2010 was the movie. 2010.
Oh, okay.
But still.
Oh, same basic concept. Wow.
It was a bit gratuitous.
I'm still really from Drexel going, okay, that's a bit much.
Yeah.
In Ty, what was I don't know, what was worse? The gratuitous nudity or the gratuitous struggle snuggle? Forced struggle snuggle.
A lot of struggle snuggle.
Yeah, Ty. It was just like I'm like, what is this?
Yeah.
It
was.
It doesn't even sound like a good. So it really wasn't a good bad movie. It was just kind of a bad movie.
Okay, it's mostly just bad, but it does have some redeeming elements.
It is
what was that thing y'all were watching last night? Because I saw parts of it where Vic got his head cut off. What?
Oh, it was. It was short
horror
films. Short. Yeah,
I liked that. I liked that one.
Yeah.
I was being talked at by another member of my family, so I was kind of splitting time between the two. But I saw Vic's head, and I was like, okay, I got to ask about this one.
I was alerted to it. So we pulled it up on stream and we dropped a bunch of. I heard the door open, and so we brought a bunch of people into their chat. It was cool stuff, but okay, let's do the chats though, and then we'll wrap up, because otherwise, if we get to too much talking, we'll go forever.
We did that a couple nights ago, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, time. We're gonna end the stream, and then 3 hours later.
Yeah,
well, one thing led to another.
Felipe Mouve says, Nick, give my regards to Ty. How many likes for you to drink the death liquid again tonight? None. Not happening. Inquisitor Cordiez says, we have put together the most extensive and inclusive voter fraud organization in the history of the United States. Joe Biden. Does someone need a secret policing? That was good. He is full of those kind of gaffes, and it's great. Mercenary X says, Trump at debate night was God's wrath incarnate. Friday's performance was a 50-car freeway pileup on the tracks of a bullet train during an earthquake with a fissure opening beneath, while a plane carrying nuclear weapons on fire crashes on top of them. Do you hear the screaming going on out there? It is ridiculous.
Last I checked, they were literally running around. I don't know.
Hunter Biden says, choking sounds as I'm being strangled to death by Hillary operatives. Also, please don't forget the Justice chats from election night. Oh, Hunter Biden sent that. Yes. No, we just did those. Night of Hopex says Plato's Republic also proposes sex segregation. So there we go with that. All right, on to the super chats from tonight. TLJ Screwjob says, Ty, I'm a lumberjack and I'm okay. Mithrin Emrys says, Nick, one day you will wake up and sitting on a chair next to you will be your liver sipping coffee, looking at you judgmentally and saying, Nick, we need to talk. Andrew War Snowboard says, no more virtue signaling for the NBA after they lost $1.5 billion. Apparently Republicans still buy sneakers.
Get woke.
Derek Bambanek says, ooh, drinking on an empty stomach, ouch, while sipping on Winter Jack in the same state like a hypocrite, lol. Nice. Mike Lombardo says, hashtag Trump 2020. Siren Jag says, the Dems have Schrodinger's position on fracking. Mike Mysterio 13 says, I just realized how drunk I am. Be right back. Nick 2020. Marty Lund says, we need a big brain game of Among Us. Oh, that could be pretty fun. Siren Jag says, Nick Rekieta starring in Drinking 2, Hepatic Boogaloo. Watch Nick teach inner city kids the joys of Lagavulin and save their community center. Phoenix Squadron 101 says, Ty, could Trump flip New York City due to the riots, lockdowns, Jew targeting, and people leaving the city? What would happen?
If anybody could, it'd be Trump, but I don't think so. I mean...
No, and I think the people leaving the city are Republican.
Well, yeah. The thing is, it takes a generational change usually to flip a state or something like that. I mean, uh, I had relatives that vote. My family were Democrats from the from the Great Depression, and it took Jimmy Carter and then Ronald Reagan to flip them.
Right.
So I think what you'll see though is you'll see a bunch of Democrats voting for Trump or not turning out, or some iteration of that thing. Where a lot of that'll get reflected too will be in the state level elections. By the way, already Nancy Pelosi's second class of crash test dummies. Those are the freshman representatives who won in 18 in red states or swing states, so-called conservative Democrats. They're now out there today trying to distance themselves from Biden and Harris on fracking and stuff like that. They're going to get slaughtered, just like they did in 2010 after Obamacare.
Gilroy was here, says, are you going to get blackout drunk and pass out in the bathroom, forcing Drexel to come on and boomer the stream for 5 minutes before talking to Ty for 4 hours again? Yes. Heinrich, but not tonight. Heinrich Berndowski.
You should advertise that. You probably get a super stream if you
Heinrich Berndowski
ahead of time.
Says, Nick, have you seen the recent Hunter Biden laptop leaks? They began releasing the photos and videos from it online a few hours ago. I hear they're doing a drop every hour.
Oh my God, that's devastating. Really.
It's terrible. For him. It's great.
It's the first modern October surprise.
Oh yeah. It's fantastic.
Oh,
Jake Nelson says,
Rudy.
Have you seen
Well done. God.
Have you seen the Memology 101 video of old Joe essentially admitting to voter fraud? Good stuff. Nope, but I think I've seen it somewhere else. Corporal Savagery says, you may have been busy wrapped around the toilet at the moment, but Joe flat out said he wanted a path to citizenship for 11 million illegal aliens. That's not surprising or shocking to me that he wants that.
No, but again, it's surprising that he would emphasize that in a debate, because that's not really actually much of a seller to anyone except the far left in this country. And it's not going to play well in the swing states, I don't think.
Chuldo says, I originally only saw the video of the debate without the audio. Trump had great posture and stayed still and confident. Biden looked uncomfortable and was bobbing side to side nervously.
See, I have a theory that if you do that, if you turn the audio off and watch a debate or anything like that, you learn a lot more about who actually did well and who didn't.
Yokahuna says, hey, Ty, what was the name of the flavored cigars you and Vic like to smoke? Ones that are flavored like candy or bubble gum.
No, wait a minute. Whoa, stop right there.
Yeah.
Vic liked them, and I smoked them because, well, I was there, but I did not like them.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what they're called. They're
what were they called? They were
Cuba acid cigars. Uh-oh. Hey, correct. Thank you.
Oh.
Sakaki Onsai says, Ty, it's Felonia von Pantsuit. Thank you very much.
Yes. Look, believe it or not, Schlichter and I sort of independently evolved the pantsuit thing. I actually came up with Madam Pantsuit, not before, but around the same time he came up with Felonia von Pantsuit. So the two can coexist at the same time.
Matt K says, Nick, you should have come back with a bucket.
Oh, God.
Cal Clay says, lol, Nick, you live. 1,000 likes on video makes you a virgin on prom night. Trump was digging Biden a grave and Biden fell right in. Biden smears.
No. Biden jumped in.
Yeah.
All in. He's just like,
Biden smears and cues, no applause. Trump adds truth and Biden's smile grows. Ty in Drex chat. You guys agreed that women upset after chasing male gays. I'm tired of having women thirsty for gay men. We want guys like you, Nick, and Drex. Cheers to you. So there you go.
Flattering as that is,
Don't worry. There's got to be some good ones out there. Ulthane says, good to know Drex is a necromancer who can use raise dead and use the toilet bowl as a ritual circle. Pret says, Biden talks about missing family at the table from COVID. What about those soldiers who are missing from that table from the wars they put them in? Good question.
Not a single new war under Trump.
Yeah. It's
Not a single
been
one.
been good. Matt K says Hunter Biden has a sex tape out. Check out the Gateway Pundit. He's into foot jobs apparently. Super Range 128 says my little cousin is based. She built a MAGA town in Minecraft, which had Trump Tower with Romney, Obama, Pelosi, etc. working there. She also made a Biden's America where everything is on fire and a communist apartment.
Oh my goodness! Somebody needs to give that child a scholarship or something.
Cal Clay says Dark Winter. Black Walkers attack King's Landing. Oh, come on. Automata says I imagine people who don't care about Hunter per se still notice the pretty extreme reaction from social media and the mainstream media. Yeah. They're doing a bad deflection.
They're beclowning themselves and they don't even seem to know it, which is fascinating.
Chuldo says Cherokee or Grand Cherokee. If the latter, then the thief did him a favor. I think it was a Grand Cherokee. It was the SUV one that was kind of crummy. Peter Pete says, Ty, you are incorrect. A lot of us black men are starting to vote Republican. We want a hand up, not a handout.
I hope I am. I truly do. And welcome to the party.
The water's fine. Cal Clay says, Nick, think GoFundMe will allow investigate Biden fund? GoFundMe will allow investigation when they get a court order or some other valid subpoena. That's all the big techs are going to do that.
By the way, the previous chat is backed up by what Drexel was saying last night. He was saying some of the same stuff. So I hope I am wrong. I mean,
we'll see. We'll have to see. I mean, we'll get numbers following this election.
Yeah, it's just been, it's just been sort of like Lucy in the football for many years with Republicans and minorities in general, not just blacks, but I mean, the Republican outreach to minority communities has been at best a sporadic kind of thing. But if anybody can flip that table around, it'll be Trump.
Yeah, and we'll watch on election night. Big Shrimp says, hey, Nick, first-time donator. Hey, thank you. Did you hear that Biden had a Freudian slip today and said, I think we have the most extensive and inclusive fraud organization in the history of American politics? Yes, I did.
Didn't hear that. Okay, so that's what they were talking about earlier.
It's on my Twitter. Go find it when we're done.
Oh, dear Lord.
Woebringer, thank you for the donation. Random Blaze says,
I'm be sad when this election campaign is over.
I hate elections.
Yeah, I'm half joking on that.
Random Blaze says, what I find interesting is that Democrats have so much of the black vote. Black voters completely forget that one of the most racist organizations was created by the Democratic Party, the KKK. Nathan Kish.
It's no mystery to anybody that grew up in the South like I did through the 60s and 70s and saw all your parents vote and your grandparents voting Democrat. It's a cultural thing, and it takes almost a generational change. So
Nathan Kish says,
I just think the Democrats are starting to wear thin on that myself. But
Nathan Kish says, in Trump voice, what about that fracking, Joe?
Fracking, Joe? And didn't Joe just step on that rake and stomp on that rake?
Moist John says, Sieg Kaiser Reinhardt. Phoenix Lord Asterman says, when Joe attacked kids in cages, I was really hoping Trump would hit back with the 94 bill and point out that he did it to his own people happily.
He did, more or less. He hammered Joe hard on that 94 bill, I thought.
Yeah, he did pretty well.
And Joe's sole response was, I didn't say that. Although, I think Joe didn't actually say super predators, but he said predators. Okay.
He said predators. Someone else. It might have been Hillary who said.
Yeah, Madam Pantsuit said super predators.
Dovin Death says, in Mobile Suit Gundam, the main antagonist group is the Principality of Zeon. One of the main leaders, Giran Zabi, who basically calls Hitler an armature when Giran is compared to him by his own father. So there you go. An amateur. It says armature, but he means amateur.
Okay.
Angry Baneling
says auto connect.
Yeah. Angry Baneling says, I has to work. We'll watch later. Thanks for streaming. Blue Crimson 217 says, the debate wasn't much of a trash fire, but I'm pissed that I missed you puking after the debate.
Well, it wasn't on. Thankfully,
it wasn't on
on
stream.
camera.
Daniel Camargo says Hunter laptop leaks are all over the internet. So many pics of his schlong, bro. Oh my god.
Oh gosh.
Mike Mysterio says I was listening to Crowder's debate stream and I missed the part where Biden talked about granting citizenship to 15 million undocumented immigrants. DCV Titan says, can we replace DACA with DACA? Wah!
Ooh. Ooh, that's
Bruh 3.0 says, for your health, I won't be smashing the like button, but here's $20. Love your stuff. Hey, thank you. Blue Marvel says, Footloose starring Hunter Biden. No. Stop. Stop it immediately.
Oh God. You know, we're gonna be plagued with this for the next 2 weeks.
Nya says, chipping in $5 for Ty to sing the Lumberjack song. Mike Mysterio says, I'm a match that for the Lumberjack. Jimmy the Hand says, I too wish to hear the Lumberjack song. Nero says, sing the Lumberjack song, Ty. Gelth Walker says, am I to blame now because I started that? Yes. Talenseer says, I caught the Rona. Who'd have thought that the masks wouldn't work? Dun, dun, dun. I'm already on the upswing, though, so have some money on me. What's y'all's opinion on Biden and the Equality Act? Thank you for that, by the way. Biden's terrible.
Yeah. He's
Is
horrible.
the Equality Act the 94 crime bill? What's the Equality Act?
I don't know what the Equality Act is either. Stream, help us out. What is it?
This is a new thing.
Probably some new rewrite of the the ERA or something, Equal Rights Amendment. Maybe.
Prohibit discrimination on the basis of sex, gender identity, and sexual orientation for other purposes.
Yawn.
Oh, it's probably just modifications to Title VII to clear up orientation.
Besides, if the U.S. Supreme Court doesn't, stop it, it's not going to matter anyway. It's going to be academic.
It's already there.
Yeah.
Skeet Neat says, can we watch Party the TV show The Prisoner? I don't know. I don't know if it's
a superior show. Did you ever watch? Do you know what The Prisoner is?
No, never heard of it.
Okay, it's a classic late 1960s British show with Patrick McGoohan. He played a British secret agent in a show that came to the United States as Secret Agent Man. Also a really good show, by the way. But he's a secret agent who winds up being kidnapped and put in this surreal village location. And he's there because he tried to resign, but it's not clear. Is it his employers that have imprisoned him? Is it the other side? What? And it's just a weird but really good show. It's Patrick McGoohan, so it's good.
Have you ever seen Boxcar Bertha, the 70s movie?
No, I have not.
Oh, okay, it's a Scorsese movie starring Barbara
Really?
Hershey and David Carradine.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
it's called Boxcar Bertha.
Yeah, it's about some bank robbing chick and her gang.
I just never would have imagined an overlap between Scorsese and David Carradine.
Yeah, me either.
Yeah, I'll have to watch that.
Suggested following the completion of Nude Nuns with Big Guns. And we were like, what is this? And then it's like this serious movie by Scorsese. So
was it one of his early
1972.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Skeet Neat says, can we... Oh, wait, I read that one. Mithra Nimmer says, by the way, Nick, did you see your former nemesis? Oh, he's my permanent nemesis. Devin, a.k.a. Legal Ego, decided to go even harder into full Trump derangement syndrome with his latest video. He flat out states that Trump is a criminal and a tax evader. Yeah, it's a terrible video. I watched most of Uncivil Law's video on it, and it's Uncivil Law's breakdown is good.
As someone who does a fair amount of tax law, I really am getting sick and tired of this $750 bullshit. First of all, I more than one Democrat legislator who prepays their taxes. Literally everyone on the earth who pays income tax. It's called withholding. Okay, you can't.
Not me. I postpaid.
But the other thing is, if you don't have withholding, if you are a sole proprietor or you own a corporation or an LLC or whatever, you do quarterly estimated tax payments where you have to estimate what your tax liability is going to be. Trump was doing exactly what every other person on the planet does. And I'm sorry, if they withhold $100,000 of my income and I pay an additional $500, it really is kind of fucking stupid to say that I only paid $500 in income tax that year. Okay, rant off. I'm sorry. I just did.
No, you're fine.
The stupid is suffocating.
Well, Legal Eagle is full of stupid, and I probably will.
Apparently, is he actually a lawyer?
Oh yeah, yeah, he is.
Wow. So great. You know, it's not like our profession is a beloved profession anyway. I wish these people would stop trying to help us out.
Oh yeah. Well, I can't say what I wish. Skocky Onside says Rudy Giuliani's Facebook page was just yeeted. In case you missed it, so they threw Rudy Giuliani off Facebook. That's good. Horrible antagonist says how sad is it?
When Trump wins, and he's going to, I hope he crams. Yes, I know it'll be bad. There'll be some bad consequences for 230 being taken down, but I don't care anymore.
Yeah,
I don't care.
Horrible antagonist says, how sad is it that Anthony Weiner can now say, "At least I'm not Hunter." He also says, and Nick, I will take the blame for your attempted suicide. Those drinking game rules were epic. Fix Lexia says, Nick, I'm so glad someone managed to hook you up to Ruth Bader Ginsburg's immortality machine before it was too late for you. Careful relying too much on that thing. It does have limits, we've learned. Nothing Raven says, money for the weekend show. Hey, thank you. Sergeant McSalty says, please do in lemon voice. You know who I am? I'm the man who's going to burn your house down with the lemons. I'm going to get my engineers to invent a combustible lemon that burns your house down. Polio64 says, Biden's gaffe today was about an organization Obama and he made to stop voter fraud, but he gaffes too much for it to even matter, to be honest. Automata says, as streams breakdown discussions of The Prisoner. Oh, cool. Nothing Raven says, Ty, have you seen 1917?
Yes. So the funny thing was I had a little bit of a stomach ailment, and I went to see it, and it actually I got vertigo and I got nauseous.
Oh.
I had to leave the theater because, you know, it's not actually but it appears to be no cuts whatsoever.
Right.
Brilliant show. And golly, and I did see the part before I left. I saw the part where the guy got stabbed by the German pilot, and that was just heartbreaking. But yeah, great movie.
And then finally, Siren Jag says, Statler in the balcony at the Muppet Show. Hey, Nick Sliver is like the Mongol Empire. Waldorf, how's that? It's dead. Ho, 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 ho. So there you go. Statler and Waldorf.
We resemble that remark, Nick.
Oh, man. All right. Well, Ty.
Is that it? Did we get it?
I mean, kind of. Like I said, there are a bunch from after I left, but I know you and Drexel got all those.
Well, Drexel did.
Between
together,
the two of you,
we did very few.
Mostly him, quitter.
But
no, and I don't want to sit and like go through. It would also, there's still well over 100 that Drexel fielded.
Yeah.
Already.
Well,
200. There are 200 still.
I guess that I'm glad that I actually bailed at 115 because that then let Drexel get to all those. But it wasn't going to happen with us sitting there. Sorry, you know. And
so since most of them weren't directed at me, Drexel, none of them I think were directed at me. I just see Nick is dead. Rip Nick. Call Nick to make sure he's not dead. Nick in blackface again. Nick ain't even here. And 3,000 viewers, Master Grift. Chat always wins as Nick's toilet seat grins. Nick, when did you buy yourself a house streamer? That was the next day.
Oh, that's kind of, yeah.
Yeah. But anyway.
Well, on the other hand, it was Drex bragging about the fact that he had cucked you on your own show. So that, you know, fair's fair.
Listen. That's, you'll never hear from him again.
Right.
All right, man. Well,
hey,
hey,
you fellas enjoy your movie streaming. I'm gonna go and crash. As always, I enjoyed it. Am I invited to your election eve hangout?
No, I've had you on for all the debates, and I'm cutting you off now.
No, please, Nick, don't. Sorry.
Mike Mysterio sent another $5. Says Lumberjack song, you boomers. He said 500.
Yeah, and you know, there's a principle at play here, you know. There's a principle at play, but
one day I'll get him on a pre-stream. He won't even know I'm recording, and I'll get it.
yeah, or talk me into drinking whiskey again on your show, and who knows what could happen. Anyway, you guys have a great evening. Stream as always. I've enjoyed it. You know, we'll see. I'll say this. My prediction remains the same. It's been all year long. Trump wins. And I really think, I don't think that the voter fraud is going to play a significant role. I think Trump's going to win outside the margin of fraud. Now it'll be very interesting to see what happens. If I'm right, it'll be very interesting to see the degree of hysteria and, mental breakdowns that the left engages in. But right now, the momentum is clearly in Trump's favor, and you're starting to see the polls converge too, right? The pollsters know that they've been doing push polls for the last year, and now we're getting down the last couple of weeks, and now all of a sudden the polls are going to start coming together.
The
polls don't want to look like idiots.
Listen, the polls converge at the end for a very, very specific reason.
Yep.
Close races sell ads and push news viewership.
Well, and if you're rigging a poll all year long, you want to unrig it at the very end.
I don't think it's unrigged. I don't think it's unrigged at the end. I think they just close the poll, like they make them close, because if it was a blowout, no one would watch. Yeah.
Well, in any event, I think the polling industry is gonna walk out of this again. With a bunch of big rake marks across the front of their face, because, yesterday, I saw yesterday or day before, I think it was yesterday, CNN released a poll that said that, Biden is 10 points ahead in Pennsylvania. Right.
Okay. Well, we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I tried to find the crosstabs on the poll because I always like to look at, at that. If I can't find crosstabs, I don't even consider the poll. But I couldn't. But at this point, who cares? Anyway, well, my friend, y'all have a good evening. Stream, I enjoyed it, and I guess we'll be talking down there. Frank Luntz is going to lose his job. Yeah, did you notice who Frank Luntz is? Don't you?
Now, who's that?
Oh, he is this complete ass munch of a pollster. He's a GOP pollster.
Oh, he's a pollster?
I got a history with him. I've met him at a Congressman Sam Johnson fundraiser in 2012. And he was flogging the line that what Romney needed to do was be nicer, right?
Oh, yeah, that's what
and Luntz on the day of the election in 2016 put out this real pissy tweet just to make it absolutely clear: Hillary Clinton will be the next president of the United States.
Oh,
at the Sam Johnson, let me close that loop. I talked to him in the bar briefly. He's a prick. He's also a stupid prick, which is even worse. But anyway, so it turns out there's an email between him and Hunter Biden. Hunter emails Luntz saying, I thought we were friends, but you didn't even mention this on your son, whatever the hell he didn't mention.
Yeah.
And Luntz is like the rejected girlfriend. Well, that's because you haven't I haven't heard from y'all in over 6 months, and blah, 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 blah. I'm going, right, a GOP pollster that tight with Joe Biden and his son. One thing that Trump has done an amazing job of is he has made all of the scumbag, hidden Democrats pretending to be Republicans. He's caused them to out themselves, which is fascinating. But yeah, Luntz is an abject piece of crap, in my humble opinion. So, all right, brother. Well, you have a good evening. You and Drexel don't tear anything up.
Have a good time.
But y'all got my business card if you need to get me to get you out of jail or something.
Yeah.
So. Well, see you, Drexel, if you can hear me.
If we need it. Yeah.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right, buddy. Bye.
Have a good night.
I will.
All right, guys. Here's the deal. We're gonna shut down this stream, and we'll start up a new stream in just a minute. I don't know if we're gonna do do you want to do like a movie or a video game? Do you have any preference? There's always a bad movie, but
I said we should do a bad movie. I was thinking about gaming, but that requires us to actually do something.
Right.
Sometimes it's good to just sit back and be like, let it flow, right? Like be entertained by whatever garbage we're about to watch.
Yeah. So we'll go on to Twitch. We'll do a movie in just a little bit. I'm gonna get some food. I'm hungry, and then we'll get
You
the
still
stream
have a burrito
started.
left.
No, I have like that much burrito left.
Oh, is it like a third?
It's like a fifth.
Oh,
Look,
yeah.
I have a phobia of finishing sandwiches.
Okay, you're
It's not my
ridiculous.
fault.
Yeah, the wife put it in the fridge for you.
Well, I'll grab that and something else probably too. But anyway, all right, guys. Oh no. We'll see you in just a little bit over on Twitch if you want to join us, and we'll have a good time. All right. Thanks for hanging out. Oh, I know what you want. I know what you want. Here comes the outro song. Thanks for hanging out, guys. We'll see you in a bit. Peace. Peace.
Oh, he drinks a fair bit, but you realize that it just helps get his noggin jogging along. With his glass by his side and his kids asleep tight, we'll hear some lost-plaining tonight. With his microphone muted, we'll laugh at this boomer until he explains it's all part of the plan. Watch his face become redder as he becomes meta, raging at idiots from Twitterland. From the white shores of Maine to the hills of Glenlivet, there's no one who explains the law better than Nick. So pour out a glass for the ones who have passed to make the law what we have now. Oh, his lady is fair, and she handles herself with the grace of one who has borne many children. As the wife of a lawman, she makes sure that he has the time and the place to provide for them there. So pour out an Ardbeg, a Balmore, a Lafroig. The spirits flow as the ones who get unemployed. So pour out a glass for the tea post on Twitter as we hear lost-plaining tonight. From the white shores of Nairn to the hills of Glenlivet, there's no one who explains the law better than Nick. So pour out a glass for the ones who have passed to make the law what we have now. Oh, the guests are all plentiful, from Doug T to Drexel. They bring their perspective and spice to the mix. But the reason we're here and the one that we cheer is the one who is showcasing us his career. Get unemployed. So pour out a glass for the tea post on Twitter as we hear lost-plaining tonight. From the white shores of Nairn to the hills of Glenlivet, there's no one who explains the law better than Nick. So pour out a glass for the ones who have passed to make the law